Why does that still work?
Oh my god. Anyway, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the Smudcast. It's a Friday, as always, 871. All art is not political, and my god, why does this person have to use an Evangelion reference? I don't know. It drives me nuts already. But let's read the entire long sentence that he had to maximize or max out all the character limit on the title for YouTube. All in caps, of course, because that's how you do it. Why conservatives are bad at criticism and getting over children's media. So already we have an Evangelion technique of writing stupid titles. Then we make a dig at conservatives because why not? This guy's obviously not conservative. And they're just bad. Pick anything. Could be criticism, could be folding socks, it could be anything. It doesn't matter. And now they're also bad at getting over children's media, which, if in case you don't know, a lot of parents are concerned over what their children are watching and reading. So I don't know why that's a bad thing for parents to be selective, because they have every right to be.
No, they should have watch all the state's propaganda stuff.
You just trust the state with all the media they pump? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably why.
I'm looking forward to seeing how a cat girl being stripped by her own golem is political.
Well,
of course. Well, that's easy. But even the old hippies at the comic shop that play Magic the Gathering and One Piece and all those other games, they have kids now. And the hippies, the actual hippies of back in the day and the actual punks of back in the day, they don't want their kids to watch all the woke crap. They're trying to get all the old TV shows, all the old cartoons that ran, because they were wholesome and good. It's really cool, really funny.
All right. Well, this is a almost 24-minute video. Came out this month, just last week. It's got almost 20,000 views, and I would say 90%, at least 95% upvotes ratio. So I'm assuming people like me or you guys have never watched this guy before or know his stuff. I don't know him. And this is going to drive me nuts. Just the title alone is crazy for me. And you know what he's going to say. Like, we've done this years ago, and we've covered people like this before. This is nothing new. So maybe he's new to the whole left-leaning, the death of the author nonsense, all that crap that they've been spouting for decades. So, anyway, everything's subjective. Who cares? It's just my opinion, guys.
Yeah.
So, 24 minutes. You guys ready? This will take a long time. I'm going to tell you this is going to go like molasses. We're going to sit there and we're going to cry and do some push-ups just to keep ourselves sane. And I don't know.
Can we make beer from the molasses?
No.
Smud, are you okay?
No,
okay, man?
I've done this. We've done this for I don't know how long. If
about a decade soon.
If LitDev was just with myself, we would be laughing our ass off without beer or alcohol. We'd just be like, this is so like 2012 or whatever. So anyway, let's get started. We only have a few people here. More people might be coming later. You guys might want to take a break or go to sleep. It's one of those videos, I bet. So anyway,
that time of the month, week,
every Friday. But I'm not out chasing the ladies. This is what we do. We hurt ourselves listening to left-leaning ideologues talking about, I don't know, shonen anime or something.
That's why we still don't have kids. We're being drawn in, hypnotized by the left, either by them telling us not to have kids or by just staring at their madness and that not having kids because of that.
Well, that's been happening.
What do you mean not having kids?
Yeah, I know, that's why you've been absent for 3 years.
Okay, anyway. Some of us have kids. Never mind. Let's keep going. Bopper, all right.
So you notice how the knot is in brackets.
What the fuck? We wander the world, the object of... Is that a quote from something? Does anyone know?
I do not.
Never heard it.
All right. Let's continue.
The Grand Missive The encyclical phrase of YouTube video essays.
Okay.
A statement of parodic grandiloquence
What?
alongside...
Oh no, it's that kind of guy.
Oh my god, parody.
Oh my god, it's the pretentious, eloquent guy who just babbles and strings words together to sound smart and
Adverb, adjective.
confuse you.
Yeah, oh my.
So that it sounds nice, that you can, if you listen to him, you can feel smart, because I'm listening to somebody who uses big words.
Well, compare that to what was the previous guy who used the same word, adverb, adjective together?
Meaningful meaning.
There you go. This is an upgrade, I guess.
Well, this is the other end of the spectrum of saying nothing with lots of words.
Oh god. All right.
At least he doesn't speak too fast.
Or have a speech impediment he can't describe. Yeah, that's great.
Death of the author is the
There it is.
axiom
Death of the
all
author.
art is political.
What?
This statement
It's an axiom?
What?
Apparently, all art is political is now an axiom. We didn't know that. It just happened when Descartes died. I don't know. Who knows?
Maxim, all art is political. The staple food is. Oh my god.
He couldn't even make it half a minute in before.
Yeah.
It's just.
I tell people, don't put staples in your food. It's not good.
Thank you.
I have a feeling this might end up being a multiple parter.
That's what I said before we started.
That's not something that happens. We do one part, and then we live our lives to the full.
Yeah. Release the poison from our memory. Yeah. Okay.
left-wing
I don't know,
posits a
depends which
simple
one
truth.
parter.
Art
See, look at that. That is a beautiful sentence. The staple food of left-wing analysis posits a simple truth. Oh my God.
by its nature as a human creation, is a reaction to and a product of political realities.
Okay. All right.
Not necessarily.
So when you were in grade school and you were asked to, I don't know, paint a still life and you didn't do anything, was that a rebellion against the patriarchy because your art teacher was a guy? Or did you sit down and say, I like still life, I like fruits and vases and trees. I'm gonna paint a nice big yellow sun, and I'm gonna put a happy little flower next to it. Was that a political? Was that political? Was that you like fighting the, I don't know, the power that was?
The first question is, can the left properly assess and describe political reality?
Define it would be nice. Yeah.
Because I don't
That's
think
a
it
funny
can.
word.
It always puts up strawmen and props itself up as super positive, and everybody else is super negative, and misrepresents everybody and everything.
On the left, a group of people whose sole ideological goal is some sort of revolution, possibly tell the truth about anything. No. Anyway, moving on to the next question.
All right.
William Shakespeare, working under the monarchy of Elizabeth I,
So.
depicted Henry V as a grand hero and Richard III as a vile rat.
So.
Yes.
Such a broad-stroked definition is about as debatable as...
He also talked about pixies and fairies and an Italian man wooing an Italian woman.
Yeah, but also,
Richard III is
He was-
propaganda.
yeah, no, but as well, if you actually understood what was happening, his main stuff was done under Elizabeth's father, Henry VIII, and he did all the stuff to try and keep on Elizabeth's good side because she was chopping people's heads off left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And not all of his stories are... Like, he has a lot of political stories and settings, and that's fine. But he has lots of rom-coms that have nothing to do with any kinds
What
of...
you do about nothing?
Well, Twelfth Night, Taming of the Shrew I just mentioned, Midsummer's Night Dream I mentioned, Romeo and Juliet. Like, there's so many rom-coms that someone...
Did someone just get attacked by a bag of pasta then or something?
Yes.
You rearranging your paper room? What are you doing? Moving.
And the origami swans attacked me.
Yeah, the paper mache just came out of nowhere. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's he did, I think, that is sort of like, I think from what I remember, some sort of like vanity project for Elizabeth, because he tried to get back on her good side. But that's as much as I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of very famous plays of him, Hamlet being the biggest, I would say. That has, regicide and a bunch of other things, but it's much more grandiose as a story. There's so much going on in Hamlet. You cannot reduce it to say, well, it's a political message or it's a political play. It's like, yeah, there was a war going on in Poland, I think, and there was a duel. It's not just, the king is in power now, and therefore, no, it's family and madness and ghosts and all kinds of other stuff is happening.
Is this going to go down the route of the left actually don't understand the difference between political and things that have politics in them?
Yeah, I bet.
Yes. That's the whole point of everything is political. It exists. I've said this a number of times. They say not everything is political, but you can make everything political.
Yeah.
And if you make something political, that means you want a say in it. You want control over it. Well, that's why downstream from that is the private is political, because everything is political. And that means that if you want to make the private political, that means you want to say in it. Which means the left, saying everything is political, wants a say in your private life. What you do in your bedroom, what you do in your head. It's about control. That's the trick.
Well,
that's all.
I remember that's a good reference because Hawk said Much Ado About Nothing, and I don't know if you guys read it or watched the play. It's basically very romantic comedy style story, but everything starts when the soldiers enter the town, but no one gives a shit about the soldiers and what war or whatever. They're just soldiers. That is an element of politics, sure, but that's not what the story's about. So, if someone has a gun or a musket, it's a weapon of war. It must be no, it's just there's a guy. Policemen have guns. Soldiers have guns. It's not what stories are about from Shakespeare. Anyway, I don't like using big grand terms like all Shakespeare is political. It's like, yeah, a lot of it is, but some of it isn't. Anyway.
Gravitation, but its value as a lens for art analysis is not nearly as universal. The problem with the statement that all art is political is not in its value as a statement. It is true as a general reality of human life. Everything from assumptions a work of art makes about its viewers or the world to which art gets financed and released is political.
How?
No.
How?
You have to define what you mean by political in that instance.
Yeah, if you're a publisher...
Because apparently he's apparently using that word in a completely different way than it actually is.
Yeah, if I'm a publisher, I choose which books to get published. I don't really care about whether the story is about politics or who am I going to piss off. I care about, is this book going to make money? And is it going to make more money than the other book? Because I'll publish this one first with the right timing and marketing in the right places at the right price, which has nothing to do, or should have nothing to do with the laws of the land that prevent me from doing my job. So no, the publisher inherently is about profit and making as many sales as possible. What a weird, that's just,
the issue is this whole thing of like, the right can't separate it. This is just going to be projection, isn't it? It's like, the left can't separate everything from politics, but we'll just say the right is because they've noticed. All it really boils down to is, the right's noticed our politics is now in control of gaming, so we'll just make out that, they just see politics everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to boil down to. If you want to see more of the talking, just go to Smudcast 801 as we talk about this 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Comes from how it's used and how it affects the approach so many of us have with art. It allows us...
What approach would that be? Your left-leaning approach, that whatever you say is political, or everyone else who just watches a film for the entertainment value?
How is iCarly's...
What is this?
Political?
I don't want to know. Who knows?
What is this?
I don't know. I can't.
iCarly. It's a show from, is it like Nickelodeon or something?
Oh God, the 90s.
It looks like Nickelodeon.
It's from the early 2000s, isn't it? It had that.
Nickelodeon.
What's that guy who got done for like being creepy?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Yeah.
That non-fetish.
Yeah. What's his name? There was that famous guy who made loads of shows, and he was really creepy to all like the young cast.
There were a lot of
Harvey
like this,
Weinstein?
it says Dan Shin.
Oh no, what's his name? Is it like Dan something?
Anyway, I got to read some super chats.
Isn't that supposed to be Dan Schneider?
Yeah.
Oh, we got Dan
Oh,
Schneider in the
yeah.
chat. Thank you, Legacy. Okay, great. Let's keep going. Axton Zero. Thank you, sir, for the 2. I come to say Egad is mentioned in this video. Yeah, why not? Let's defend Egad. Why not? We could do that. Not a problem.
And yeah, Genghis posted it in our chat and all. Yeah, it's Schneider.
It's Schneider.
Legacy just misspelled it.
Okay, I don't know why Threadnut you're throwing money at me. We're on the stream, and I mean,
Else, I just thought of that song. Whenever I hear Romeo and Juliet, it reminds me of that song.
oh really? This is a song. These are song lyrics. You want me to read? Okay.
It's a song. It's from Avatar, Last Airbender.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh dear God,
2.
that's not worth it.
I'm just gonna read it because I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna read it. 2 lovers.
It is the same plot.
Okay, forbidden from one another, a war divides their people, and a mountain divides them apart. They built a path to be together and die. Jesus. Secret tunnel? Romeo and
I
Juliet?
don't remember musical bits in Avatar.
Yeah, really?
It's the episode Secret Tunnel. It's where they go through a secret tunnel to get to Omashu. Because the 2 lovers were, one of them was called Omar and the other was Shu.
Is Sokka singing it?
No, the hippies. Sokka was constantly slapping himself on his forehead because... yeah.
All right.
It is basically a Romeo and Juliet episode.
Really? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not fluent in Avatar. I can't tell you. So.
Yeah, unfortunately. But to go back onto this, I'm trying to think about how iCarly was political and how it being on the air was due to politics.
Can anyone in the chat tell us what the history of iCarly was that involved some sort of like, I don't know, the state telling Nickelodeon what to do? That would probably be a political behind the scenes issue, but not the content of the show itself, unless there is a political message in one of the episodes. I don't know.
Maybe iCarly has tried to control the population. That would be political.
Oh my God. What? For a kid's show? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, control the kids. That's political.
We're a minute and a half in and we're already questioning our life choices. Anyway, let's go.
I don't understand why it's included.
Overindulge on children and young adult media. It dulls our artistic sensibilities.
Wait a second. Let me rewind that.
The approach so many of us have with art. It allows us as adults to overindulge on children and young adult media.
No, it doesn't. Why would it do that? Unless you have kids, why would you bother overindulging on, or even indulging on children's media? What are you talking about? Do you have kids, sir? Is this a thing he's trying to say? That if you have kids, you're going to overindulge on children's media if you have a left-leaning disposition towards thinking all kids' shows are political, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, side note. I was at a bookstore this week, and I noticed that, I dislike the term young adult a great lot because it's not used for adults that are young. It is used for teenagers. There's also the term new adult.
Okay.
And under the section new adult, you find all those women fantasy monster romance books. That is apparently what a new adult is, which is probably the new man or something that has sex with
what?
Monsters.
The new.
Because that's what these books are about.
The new man.
The new woman. The new woman, I suppose. Maybe socialism gave up on the new man project and not just makes the new woman.
I don't want to think, even ponder what you're getting. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
Wisp, just stick to your early century artistry books like a good German. Just that, and you know.
Well, I have.
Autobiographies written in prison. Those are the German books you should be reading.
Look, I have Kalergis and Habsburg's Pan Europa here. That is a German book,
As
I
long
guess.
as they weren't involved with beer halls or anything like that, we're good. Okay.
Which apparently doesn't exist according to my government.
Oh.
So I can't read it.
Oh no! Let's not bring those up. Let's.
There's only 3 books that are allowed to be read in Germany. One is the early 19th century Austrian painters guide to success.
You're actually not. At least you're not. You were not allowed to even buy it. So I don't know.
The second one is
that idea.
The movie transcript of Schindler's List. And then finally, the great German history book of 1900 to 1912. Skip a bit. Now it's 1950.
Oh, jeez.
No. German history ends in 1945.
No. German history ends in 1950.
I know that because there was no more history in school after 1945. We just started from the beginning again. Every time we hit that point 3 times.
Okay.
It's 1939.
Okay, guys.
And then it becomes Germany's great grand holiday.
Let's
when nothing happened.
Let's get back to fictional stories that is possibly political, or they're all political, right?
To stay on, not stay on the German point, but actually get onto the young, the children and young adult media. I have obviously 2 young kids, and I enjoy watching those shows with them, but I couldn't sit down and watch it myself. These are just children's shows.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird to say that.
I'm a grown adult.
we could actually watch a few episodes of Bluey, which is still entertaining, but you wouldn't do it on purpose. You would be like, let's watch some Bluey. It's like, no, you bring your kids or your family and you watch it together. You don't waste your time. Anyway. Whew.
People pointing out that apparently Michelle Obama was in iCarly.
Oh, wow. That's special.
It's not, something. It's nice. It's nice that trans representation even happened then.
Okay, all right. We're going. We're done.
Dulls our artistic sensibilities, our ability to approach art inwardly, and it places art criticism on the terms defined by the anti-woke nonsense.
What? Where does this go? How did we get here? What are we talking about? We're talking about watching kids shows in indulgence.
I'm trying to follow.
We're going to go through those 3 steps that I said about in the last fucking video. Obtuse obliviousness, Schrodinger's woke where it doesn't exist but it's always exist, and then it's finally end with insults. That's how it always goes. The same fucking 3 steps all the time.
Yeah, let's just make the definite posit that there is nonsense in the woke group and there is nonsense in the anti-woke group. Let's just say yes, they do exist, but to paint it with a broad brush in general, no, you can't do that.
We're gonna literally spend the entire video talking about how wokeness doesn't exist, but how everything's always been woke
and should be more woke.
So there's no such thing.
It doesn't exist.
So there's no such thing as anti-wokeness because it's nonsense. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
Same stuff all the time.
If you're not woke, you're just lying. You're grifting because actually everybody is woke and everybody knows that the woke stuff, the socialist stuff, is the ultimate and objective good. Although everything is subjective, but this is objectively always good because it's good in every subjective reality, and therefore everybody who's not for it is just lying.
But if you notice it, it doesn't exist, and you're insane for noticing it. Okay.
And you're just trying to make money by grifting to people who all don't believe that it is good, which they actually also can't. So they're also grifting. They're also denying that it's actually good, because everybody secretly knows that it's good. How then anybody could actually say that it's bad? It doesn't make any sense, but okay.
All right. Anyway, I'm already checked out, so let's just keep going.
Yeah,
it's great.
Politics is a category of human thought, and action is remarkable in its flexibility.
What? Is that a finished idea? What the? Politics is an aspect of human thought. Yes, so is any other political denomination. True. action is remarkable in its You know what's remarkable in flexibility? My finger, my ankle joint, my imagination. Many things. These two ideas, sir, are unrelated. What are you? Who edited this?
Oh, well, let's just keep going because we're just going to end up with the same. Like I say, it's going to be utter obtuse obliviousness to everything, and then it is just going to. And it's just going to descend into woke doesn't exist. You're crazy thinking woke exists, but everything's always been woke. It must we must keep making more things woke, and then he's going to call all right wingers Nazis.
Well, I'm surprised that he said that anti-woke is nonsense, and then he comes up with a nonsensical 2-sentence comma splice here. I'm like, what are you saying?
It's the same stuff every video, every single video, same stuff. Yep. I made these arguments. What was it? Sarcastic Horse first appearance 2021, so it's been 4 years.
Adjective, adverb, noun, and adjective, adverb, noun is a thing. What? What are you talking? No. Anyway,
it's a confusion spell.
Transitory, boneless. It contorts and fits itself into philosophy of historical magnitude.
What are we talking about?
Plato, Hobbes, Marx, the movement of armies, assassinations, and the actions of the home.
Don't talk. So this is a sophist who brings up other sophists in order to justify his sophistry, and tries to up them by also mentioning actual philosophers. Aristotle is an actual philosopher. Marx is a sophist.
Plato, the movement of armies, assassinate. Are we saying that Plato is the equivalent of the movement of armies? What are we doing here?
He's just saying random things. It's name dropping and word dropping. It's what all the big words are for. It's just word dropping. Also,
no, like full offense to Marx. Even his own parents thought he was a fucking idiot. So.
All right, let's.
They found diaries from Marx's parents, haven't they, recently?
Oh God!
That literally go, God, I wish you'd put more effort into actually making money than just moaning about people making money.
Oh, but that's been known for. That part has been known for a long time. If there's anything new, I would love to read.
Yeah, they pretty much call him an idiot.
All right, okay, let's get back to the video, guys.
State of Siege and Jean Dielman 23K du Commerce 1080 Brussels.
What?
Are films of equal political weight, equal concern for...
What? Really? You think those two films are equal?
I watched an artsy-fartsy French movie, now I know everything. Oh my God.
Yeah, but to say that those two films, which I'm sure are done by two different people in different time frames, are of equal political weight. I don't even know how you measure that. How would you measure... I don't know, a comedy drama with another comedy drama and say they're equal comedic value or they're equal dramatic value? How do you do that, sir? Do you have like some scale that we can measure with? Or a criteria? Or what? Okay, anyway, I'm just speculating here. These thoughts he's having are so flawed that you just go, what are you saying? Just logically...
Someone's just put in the thing, it's just a word salad, yeah. He's just saying... words for the sake of saying words now, and each word he uses makes the previous word meaningless.
Okay.
For politics on human life, how indispensable politics are to existence at the scales of both a nation state and...
Are you saying everyone has to watch these movies as a nation? Are you sure about that? Really?
Is it the scales of both a nation state?
I'm lost.
All right.
I don't know.
It sounds like an unfalsifiable claim.
Both of these
my God.
represent a core...
Even the text he puts on the screen has such bad lettering with the spaces between the words are too narrow. It reads exactly as he talks. Just one big salad of letters.
It just looks like a big blue block to me.
Anyway.
It doesn't really matter. It's just say that you can't show it because it's copyright.
Yeah.
The letters just moulding into one another.
Yeah. Whatever. It's fine.
Let's just move on.
They are challenging, non-commercial art films that invite complex discourse and make intellectual and aesthetic demands on viewers. These extra hurdles make discussion much harder.
They're frickin' Shakespeare for the modern day political person, I'm sure.
Jean Dielman is a feminist film by a feminist filmmaker, but its approach is too complex to be understood.
Oh, you can't understand this feminist dude. It's so hard, guys. You got to really be into the fifth or sixth wave feminism to understand this feminist film, Okay, dude, you're up there. We get it. Is he a graduate from film school, or is he like really heavy duty in social science or whatever programs he's studying? Yeah, this is pretentious up to the max.
You just can't understand my avant-garde film. It's like, oh my god. If John Paul Sartre wrote I am a little sausage, and the only words were the little sausage lived in the wood, he's a happy little sausage, you'd make out it was an amazing movie, too deep to understand by you mere mortals.
Okay.
No, this is just... No, you can't... Oh, it's a feminist film by a feminist filmmaker. Whoa. What, so it's shit then?
Probably.
Introductory feminist theory.
Oh, you have to be so you can't be a 101 feminist guy. You got to be like 4 years deep studying feminism to understand these things.
My god, could you imagine the fucking pretentious like group meetings? Oh, how do you know that I have a PhD in feminism? And you're like, to understand John Dielman's feminist film, you have to have a deep philosophical understanding of feminism. What's it mean? You just don't wash your vagina for 6 weeks? Okay, everyone knows.
And shave your armpits and legs.
Oh, okay, slow down.
And the hair on your teeth.
All right. What?
Oh god.
Anyway.
And theoretical as it is, as formally striking in its methodical depiction of the day-to-day life of a housewife, Chantal Akerman is doing more than polemics. Jean Dielman is intensely personal and moving as a narrative about a human being living through the extraordinary mundanity of everyday life.
Extraordinary mundanity. Or whatever it is.
Mundanity.
That's an oxymoron.
I think it's
hell of one.
Lines,
it's a very extreme one.
Yeah. Anyway.
So you need
her body of work.
You need a PhD to understand that the world's boring sometimes.
At least you didn't say mundanely mundane. You know.
It sounds like an incredibly boring movie.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
If you don't have a PhD, you can't understand why that lamp's at an angle.
Narrative, we are drawn to it formally, but
we are what? Okay, how are we drawn to anything formally? What are you talking about?
Why can't you say formally drawn to it?
Am I drawn to something informally? Is there like a proper way to be attracted to something formally?
Well, all art is not political. So he's literally now spent 3 minutes talking about these highly political, left-wing fucking fart-sniffing movies.
Anyway, this is great.
Maybe he got a letter from some ministry that told him to be drawn to an object? That would be very formal.
Then you'd have to, you have writing, you have a paper trail, you'd have like a policeman come by every week to make sure you're drawing properly to something formal, whatever that means. Oh, God.
As we watch, as we learn the layout of the hotel, we can practically smell it. Its silence bringing out the cheap life within. You start thinking about places you've seen before. A cheap motel outside Pigeon Forge on down I-75. Perhaps the fictional spaces you've imbibed, the dusty western floors of Hotel Dusk Room 215. Rooms that exist in your memory. Faintly.
What?
Of course.
Wooden walls, running your hands along the texture.
Oh my god, he's doing schizo jumps.
Oak tree. Perhaps you wish you looked at that space, absorbed it slowly, the way Ackerman does.
Let's just spend more time looking at Disco Elysium just because everyone loves this bloody game.
You know, I did a video last night about why Dragon Age's world building's terrible because it's too good. And the person spent more time talking like this about absolutely fucking nothing and being incredibly pretentious. But I think it's just these people are art students who are so desperate to show off they've bought a dictionary and have a thesaurus lodged up their ass. Because they both, like, these people are speaking the exact same way, describing things, and it feels like they're writing their own story, and we just unfortunately are locked in the same room. and can't escape.
It's death of the author as far as they can take it. It's I perceive so much. It's a whole other story in my mind. You're like, great. No.
Like the person can with world building, and then did this story, and you're like, okay, that's a really nice story, but what has that got to do with world building? Like this, you can take a hand and scrape it across the wall. It's like, yeah, okay, we get it. You're trying to describe the room. I can see what the room looks like on the fucking video. I have eyes. I'm not blind.
Oh, but Hog, let us explore the clothes hanger we perceived in the bottom left corner of the room. What does it imply? The left being at the bottom, being the underdog, the oppressed.
What is the
trying to dry itself up into usefulness and therefore agency again to revolutionize the bedsheets that are as equally yellow?
Man, I just got images of being incredibly violent. Just pure violence.
All right.
Mindless violence.
Here's Mr. Nick Gurr. Thank you, Nick Gurr. This guy definitely sat alone during lunch at school. Maybe. They can cry and cope all they like about how your favorite shows were always woke, no matter how much they obfuscate and spin doctor. The culture has changing, and it's not going back. I don't know what's happening with...
we'll eventually run there again.
Well, we're talking about media criticism, not necessarily media discourse or creation of media, so I don't know where he's coming from, aside from the pretentious art school that we assume most of these people come from, and they don't know what to do with their degrees, so they focus on media because it's culture and it's easier than science or whatever. So, I don't know.
The issue is go on, Wisp. No, go on, Wisp. You go first. I've got another 2 hours. It's okay.
Okay. Hopefully I don't lose the thought right now. Where was I? See, this is why you need to go first.
Okay, right. When it comes to these sort of discussions, and I'm actually trying to write up a video about it. I call it the three steps of left-wing debate with media. And so what it is they start off with the whole thing's covered in like pretentious artsy-fartsy stuff, because they're all, as Smud says, got these degrees in art. And it starts off with the obtuse obliviousness of what's happening. So they point to different things than the actual issue with art.
Yeah.
They'll choose anything else, but they know what the problem is and they know what the issues are. They just will choose anything other than admit it.
Yeah, it's.
Then you.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go on, Smudge. Yeah.
I'm just like, this is what I talk about. There's the icing on the cake, and there's like the ornamentation on top of the cake. They focus on like the stupidest little thing. That
so what happens is, say if the cake burns in the oven because they've put it at 800 degrees, right? And so you go, well, why did it burn? And they're like, oh, it must have just been the way the flour was mixed. And you're like, no, it's because of the way you put it at 800 degrees. They're like, no, it's not that. And you're like, well, it is that. And then they go on a long tangent about something completely pointless. Yeah. Because they know what the issue is, they know what the situation is. It's just that they don't want to admit it.
Yeah, it's like
so that's the obtuseness.
The much ado about nothing reference. I said that it's a story like 90%, 95% is basically romance. It's a comedic romance. But they have some soldiers in the town, which starts off the conflict. And you're like, oh, it must be political conflict. It's like, no, they're just soldiers. They're just people. It doesn't matter. It's not the story.
It's like that recent article by that Paul Tassi about why Dragon Age Veilguard failed.
Oh, really? I haven't read
it's
that.
Like, well, it's because this, and this. And you're like, no, it's because of the activism. Yeah. In BioWare that destroyed it. It's like, no. What actually happened was these unknown YouTubers made it. Like, oh my god, so you will blame anything. So you're being deliberately obtuse, and when someone mentions what the issue is, you pretend to be oblivious to it. And next step.
Being technically correct, it's like they're looking at a load of symptoms and they're not really looking at the cause, because all of those things are true. They all played a part, but they all stemmed from the activism.
Yeah, but because all the ingredients they put in are by themselves, from their point of view, good ingredients because they're all of the ideology. And so the product of all those, in their eyes, good ingredients can't be bad, so they understand why it failed. It must be the recipients that are wrong. And the next excuse that they made then for Veilguard was all the writing had to be rewritten because the snarky humor apparently backfired at this point, and so they toned it down in Veilguard.
Made it more serious, supposedly.
They toned it down.
They toned it down.
That was toned down.
Well,
in a serious thing like Dragon Age.
I always liked.
So was it supposed to be like High on Life then?
Yes.
Well. Yeah.
That's the only other option.
Oh, no.
I was always
Well,
I was always impressed with people hate EA for whatever reason. That's fine, but it's like, oh, EA wanted live service. It's like, yes, they did, but ultimately they didn't get it. So that means BioWare could have argued from the start, saying, no, we're not doing that. Shut up. We're doing Dragon Age. Go away. And EA would have went, okay, it's your game, because that's how EA always behaves when it comes to BioWare. They say, we want this, and BioWare says, no, we can't do that. Okay. Fair enough. Do your job. And it's always the devs. It's always the writers. It's always the people in charge at BioWare, not EA. Aside from Anthem, when Anthem was going nowhere and EA came in and says, what the hell are you idiots doing? Do the Iron Man thing. And they went, oh, let's do that. So I get people not liking big companies. It's a fair target. They're big. They're crazy. They have a lot of influence. But in this case, again, it was not EA's fault.
Yeah. So anyway, so obviously that's the first stage, and once you manage to like narrow it down to yes, it is the woke that's wrong, and you finally got the argument to that position. They then do Schrodinger's woke, where it's like, well, it's not woke, but the series has always been woke, so you can't complain about it. So Dragon Age has always been woke, you can't complain about them putting woke stuff in. And you're like, well, you can because it's not always been woke. Everything. And then once that line fails, as it inevitably does, they move on to the third and final part, which is, well, you're just racist, you're just a Nazi, insults, and then they run away. Now, the reason they do this is because the left still feels that discussion is a TV panel show. So when you've got a set amount of time on TV to make a point, the left have found that if you're obtuse, you can waste your opponent's time, so they can't get their point across. So instead of a back and forth between ideas, what you have is a left-winger being obtuse and a right-winger trying to explain the situation. And then obviously the time runs out and the discussion goes nowhere, and the leftists can scurry off and say they've won. The issue is now is with social media and with YouTube videos and like with reaction videos, that tactic doesn't work anymore because we can sit here and we've got enough time to go over all the points in minute details. So it's a tactic the left still use because they still view themselves as being on those like debate stages where you've got 10 minutes to state your claim against someone else, and they use those three tactics because they hope they can waste time. So what you're going to see here is this entire video is just going to be a waste of time, which will eventually end in him just insulting right-wingers as being stupid. So that's the way it goes.
And the steps you described, they are a variation or an application of the narcissistic prayer, which at this point a lot of people have learned by now, which starts with it's not happening, and then it's happening but it's your fault, it's happening and it's a good thing, and
then it's always happened.
And it's and that's good. And one rule of thumb for this thing here: if you need to go to university in order to understand art, then you are not an artist.
Or a critic, for that matter. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's continue. Here's a super chat from Axton Zero. Thank you, Gens. What is political and EVA or EVA? Accept reality, get in the robot. It's not okay for you to be here. Not is a Rebuild series reference. That's true. I don't like talking about EVA because it's just a big mess. You could argue, it's authority versus freedom. It's more of a personal issue with Shinji because he's always, scared to commit and he doesn't know what he's doing, why he's there, who loves him, etc. So stuff like God versus humans, that's another element or theme. So I don't know outside of, government control versus humanities in general between what is NERV, what is the committee. I don't know what the committee name is. It's just the government. I can't remember. So yeah, there's a lot going on and it's a mess. So this is the problem with bad shows where they're trying to do too much or it's not clear what the message is. So you could say it's man versus machine or man versus God or this or that. But the politics is, a city fighting against monsters. It's a war of some kind. So just not in the traditional sense of politics. Okay. And we have a donation and we'll keep on going. The Incisorable Woman. Thank you, Incisorable Woman. It doesn't exist, and if it does exist, it's not a big deal. And if it is, it's a good thing. That's how lefties talk about being woke? Really? Remember those agate prop articles about how white people don't exist alongside the articles that say whitey is evil? Really? Agate prop.
Yeah, there's no such thing as like indigenous white people.
Yeah. Agitprop is a portmanteau for agitation and propaganda. The East Germany had an actual ministry of agitation and propaganda, and Angela Merkel was a very relevant position in there.
Really? Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Germany. Anyway.
It's not a German thing, that's a socialist
thing. Hey, that's my joke, Smud. Don't you nick it. Germans. Yes.
Socialists.
Yay, we're at 4 minutes.
Socialists don't see themselves as part of your nation or your tribe. They see themselves as part of the tribe of socialists.
Well, let's hopefully get off
that is the international globalist thing.
Let's get off this Disco pause screen.
Anyway.
That's a Nordic god.
More than an image that blinks unsteady across your mind. Sometimes you draw a bath, and the smell is familiar, but not to anything in particular.
Oh.
Just something long ago.
Really?
You wish you...
He's doing his own personal fucking writing here.
Sometimes when you smell the oxidation of water in the air, it does not recall anything in your mind that you can think of aside from another bath or the ocean or the river or the pool you were at 2 years ago. It's just a fable in your ideas that peruse your imagination.
It's his own personal writing and stuff now. It's like, oh, look at me, I can do descriptive writing. It's like, so could I in primary school.
Oh, God. Anyway.
You could remember what it was.
Yeah, that smell is called bullshit.
Great art and great art culture invite and demand...
First off, what is art culture, and then what is great art culture? Can you give us an example, sir?
This introspection.
It's hopefully not the stuff I've seen in art uni.
Separate from one's antenna for the political.
Okay.
However, under the right circumstances, by which I mean YouTube and social media, platforms that demand quick, fast turnaround...
Or long 24-minute videos like this one.
...and explosive marketable takes, all art is political as a truth can become a truth that dulls one's senses by elevating the most simplistic and shallow art to an equal plane with the most challenging and complex art.
I have no idea what you just said.
What he means is stop comparing Marvel movies to the gay French movie that I jack off to.
On a YouTube YouTube short that's 40 seconds, and it reduces the greatness that is Marvel to less than I don't know, something shitty.
Listen, how dare you compare The Departed to Anton Hakim's fabled great Parisian drama Two Dicks in One Man? It was beautiful. Yes, it is just 4 hours of two men having sex, but it's a beautifully shot movie. I'm not gay, but...
Wait, two dicks in one man? I thought it would involve at least 3 men.
See, you ended the sentence with the thing you shouldn't say, as opposed to starting the sentence. If we learned anything, don't do the opposite either. Anyway, okay.
For fuck's sake, Hawk, another...
But one's
What?
intelligence may be...
Cars is Cars? You mean Cars in general, or the movie Cars? What are we talking about?
Cars is slop. They can't... It's a children's...
Are we talking about the automobile, or are we talking about the movie?
We're talking about like Lightning McQueen here, because let's put it this way, Lightning McQueen has got such a character arc.
So
it really is just gonna be like, oh, these Hollywood movies are slop, but look at my pretentious European art house films that are just gay.
I don't. Does he mean he's talking about the kids' movie, right? Cars.
Yeah, Cars with Mater and Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow! Whatever that thing is. That movie I've not watched since I was a kid.
That came out
20 years ago.
Yeah, 2006. I'm like, I hope he's referring to that. Okay, good. We're on the same page.
Ridiculous for Mary. It is Ka-chow.
All right, let's keep going.
Be salvaged. Cars is approached as a human artifact. A
What?
product as dependent on political structures as Princess Mononoke.
No.
What?
What? Wait, hang on.
What was that sentence?
I don't know. he makes words, and we're supposed to decipher them. Like he just changes topics.
Cars is slop, but one's intelligent.
Slop. But one's intelligence may be salvaged if Cars is approached as a human artifact. A product as dependent on political structures as Princess Mononoke.
Okay.
No.
So if you guys remember Princess Mononoke, okay, there is some class conflict, I think, in the story. I can't remember. There's definitely the story between man versus nature, so the exploitation of nature. That's a thing.
But we also have nobles and peasants.
Yeah, but the majority of the story, the major theme, is this boy who gets cursed by this magical boar king creature, and he has to go seek out San to cure him. And in the process, they fight in this little battle, and they find each other, and they fall in love in a way. So the story is not about class conflict. It starts off like that.
It is in the moment. It is about class conflict in the moment that people from different classes appear. They don't even need to interact. They just need to appear.
But the rest of the story is him.
That's the left's logic.
He's got that mark, and it's just poisoning him, and he has to get rid of it. And he's trying harder and harder. And that's the bulk of the story. And San doesn't trust him, and they're on the same side, so they have to prove themselves to each other. And then you got Gillian Anderson telling him what to do, and you're like, okay, cool, yeah.
Whereas Lightning McQueen is a sports star who vandalizes an entire town, has to rebuild it, and learns how to slow down and live his life away from the field.
So it's a hero's journey, or some kind of journey.
It's more.
But guys, how many Frenchmen are having gay sex? Tell me, that's the sign of a good movie.
Okay.
Bonjour, voulez-vous decay?
I think you're channeling some Jeopardy, Sean Connery.
I'm not going to watch any of the movies you recommend to me.
Listen, there's wonderful movies. It's a wonderful gangbang.
Anyway, we're at
slobbering on dick. The French national anthem.
We're almost at 5 minutes, guys. What? I hit the play button. Why did we? That's weird. Let me try back to 5 minutes. There we go.
Worth making a distinction here between analyzing art as art and analyzing art as a part of a political climate.
Why? Okay, you could do that, but why?
Both have their place. Jack Saint's video these cars
Oh no.
is a good
Jack Saint did a video on Cars?
Oh god, no.
These cars
Did he show eugenics?
No, he's showing Cars 2, and Cars 2 is propaganda. And it also comes with a message of, hey kids, you remember that comic relief character you laughed at? Feel sorry for him. Feel bad about laughing at the comic relief character.
So
Cars 2 is fucking horrible.
I don't know what that has to do with eugenics. I don't think eugenics would be a story in a children's film that's animated for, it just doesn't, maybe there's some, like eugenics is saying, okay, we want to get the best genetically superior people together to procreate and have this awesome society of...
That's not all that eugenics is about. Eugenics is also about crafting the best slave people for your little insane kingdom.
Right. There's more going on. There's a lot of racism. There's all kinds of human rights abuses going on for sure.
It's like the Ubermensch or something.
Well, okay. So I don't know if that's going on in the film. I don't remember it, but I'm gonna bet you that's not a big theme. If not, like a mini boss might be like, oh, I'm gonna put all the bad cars in a compressor. We're gonna kill them, make better, like something stupid like that.
Yeah,
right?
I don't remember that from Cars 2.
Neither do I.
It was rather about being natural, artificial fuel that turned out to be a scam.
Really?
Yeah.
And solar powered cars, and it turned out to be a scam.
Huh.
And oh my god, what a surprise!
Eugenics. Ooh. Anyway.
It was actually Cars 2 was actually trying to warn us of EVs.
Yeah. Okay.
Howard Preston asked me, what do I have against the French? I don't have anything against the French, I just don't like them. So...
Yes.
The French don't like the French.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Political climate. Both have their place. Jack Saint's video, Oops, Disney's Car Did Eugenics, is a good video. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Sure. It's
Any
perfect.
other video that puts children's media and pop culture through political lenses.
Okay. Why would you do that in the first place? And you're saying that's totally fine? As an exercise, yes, but doesn't mean it's correct or perfect. Why would I ever use a political lens for a children's story when the child is like, wow, red car goes boom? They're not thinking about eugenics or what. They don't even know what the word means. That's silly. I don't care. This is the hoity-toity bullshit of, this other hoity-toity bullshitter is great because he uses the lens that I like. Like, so? What's your point?
Ours too. Nazism, wonderful video. Can't recommend it enough. It's perfect. Yeah, I'm going to press doubt.
Anyway.
The issue arises in the aggregate, where both creators and viewers enter into a vicious cycle of creating videos and watching videos.
How is that an aggregate?
That stunt the collective development of our artistic culture.
How?
My God.
How?
Oh, because people talk about art, it stunts our ability to do art.
When was the last time when people, okay, just give BioWare for an example, when anyone from BioWare listened to any of the fans and made better art? I don't recall that ever happening. They never improved. All they did was make the extended cut because they got it out, a backlash. They didn't know what to do about it. Says, oh, we're going to fix it for you. And the slobbering masses went, oh, thanks, I got my ending with Kaiden. Oh, you're like, that's it? That's what you wanted? Out of all that crap they gave you? They gave you a melodramatic little 10-second event with your husbando? That's not listening to fans. There's no vicious cycle. Which did Scorsese like, oh, geez, maybe I should stop making mafia movies. Oh, my God, yeah. And then that was a bad thing?
Stop hiring Robert De Niro because he's like 80 years old. No, we'll just use CGI.
What was the call?
And they'll hobble around.
What was the what's this vicious cycle of creator talking to the audience? Where is this?
Oh no! The people who made the Sonic movies listened to the fans saying it looked terrible, so they changed it, and then they made billions and 2 more movies.
Yeah.
What a terrible, terrible thing.
And even if it wasn't like a round table or like directly responding, if it was just like comments they read, you're like, oh, well, maybe we should get better. And then maybe they did get better. But again, what example was negative that fans got involved?
I can't believe he thinks that it's the fans that are stunting artistic culture and not the fact that the media industry has been taken over by radical activists who just pump out political lectures, which drains art from media.
And I don't see
because
how,
there's no way you can make lectures artistic.
And I don't see how that's a cycle that, well, first he has to acknowledge that the crap that's been coming out the past decade is crap, and how, and then you say, oh, is it a cycle? Is it like, we hire the worst or we hire the best? Like what's the process? What's our criteria? How do we find these people that can be writers? Like we could talk about Veilguard, but we're not going to. Like there's this whole process. So it's this thing that exists, but you can't just say it's a vicious cycle of talking to fans. Like, what do you mean? How? Where? Who?
Things that are mainstream or intended for children or franchise fare. I love Godzilla and Gundam and Star Trek, and some people really love Star Wars, and I think that's great. I love 2/3 of the original trilogy, and there is a lot of depth that can be found in mainstream art and children's media. Mobile Suit Gundam 79 is a strong look at the traumatic stress of war and displacement, but it often paints in broad strokes for its younger audience. This isn't a problem. The show is effective, often evocative, and generally superlative in execution. But at the same time, to me as an adult, its depiction of politics and war, the behind-the-scenes corruption and ambition is simple. Mobile Suit Gundam stirs me, but it does not challenge me personally.
It's for kids. It's actually a really good Gundam, but it's not good enough. Like, oh, my steak tartare is not fresh. Like, shut up. It's Gundam. This is before we had well, not all before, but we had plenty of Gundam stories. And this one...
Smud, it's not a complaint about steak tartare not being fresh. It's this McDonald's Happy Meal burger isn't quite seasoned.
But he's thinking it's steak tartare. He's like, oh, this silly little hamburger is not to my liking because it does not have the mint from Madagascar. It's like, shut up. It's a freaking Gundam show.
A kid's cartoon spent some time to actually be mature. Yeah, but it's not mature enough, is it? Yeah, but you can't. This is the thing. What you want is a political lecture. That is not enjoyable for kids.
And he wants it on a different level or some other complicated, like he wants an extra plot just about politics, as if the simple plot was too clear. I want it to be complicated. I want my murder mystery to be so freaking bizarre. I want aliens to come down and commit the murder and magically teleport themselves away from the murder scene. It's like, why?
You know what this reminds me of? Has anyone watched that movie, The Invention of Lying?
No.
Well, it's a Ricky Gervais movie, and he's the guy who, in his world, he's the first person who can lie, and all their movies are just someone sat in a chair delivering a really boring historical lecture because they can't create anything. That's sort of like a world in which these people want to be. It's just boring lectures delivered by a bloke in a chrome suit in a white room, just going, yes, in 1923, Lenin died, and then Stalin came along, and communism succeeded, and now... and that's literally what it is. You're like, oh my god. Anyway, in 1312, the Unga Bunga tribe was displaced from its original heritage lands by the Ooga Boogas. I will now go on to a 16-hour description of why that is bad. That's what they want. They just want lectures.
I'm really confusing because if they were to go that extra step of having some kind, I don't even know what they want in terms of political conflict or political storytelling.
I should have loved episode 1 of Star Wars.
Yeah. What was your favourite thing?
Tax evasion, blockading. Yeah, it's great. Fantastic. Anyway.
The same way the more mature Macross Plus does, or the longer, slower, and more emotional.
What? I know Macross Plus. What are you talking about? It's basically two ships competing in this, who's going to get the contract best amidst an AI supercomputer that falls in love with, or is based off the mind of one of the women who have already fallen in love with one of the pilots. Where are the politics in that?
That's mature, Smug.
It's a beautiful piece of artwork, but it's not political.
Yeah, but it's mature, Smud.
How?
Mature.
How is it mature? What is he talking about? It's a rom-com with well, not a rom-com. It's a tragic romance, I guess.
See, Smud, without an art degree, you can't possibly understand how it's mature.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's like
You don't understand feminist media.
There's like 3 versions of that as well. There's the full. They turned it into a movie. They chopped it into a miniseries, and they did a whole bunch of stuff in the English dub, and it's really a beautiful series. So if you want really cool music by Yoko Kanno, really great dogfighting animation, 3 friends growing up, it's all so simple and clean. I don't know why you'd want to ruin it with political stuff. Like, there's no need. It's just, what's the point anyway?
Because it's not promoting the communism.
Yeah.
It needs to do that.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes does. The politics and ethical questions of Galactic Heroes are much harder to chew through as an adult. As stories about warring space factions, Legend of the Galactic Heroes plays as a natural extension of Mobile Suit Gundam, in the same way that calculus is more complex than algebra, but algebra is itself as indispensable as calculus.
Okay, why did you have that last sentence? Like, but algebra is also made by some guy who died. Like, yeah, that's true. It has nothing to do with what you previously said. Like, who cares? What? Like, what? My car is really fast, and it's also red. Like, whoa. That's great.
Strike down my car. Whoa! Jesus
Children's
Christ.
media is an important part of a healthy cultural diet, but only a small portion. An art diet is built on variety and a willingness...
What the hell is an art diet, sir? What are you doing?
It's where you take a painting and you eat it.
I get the idea that you're consuming art as you read or watch a movie. I get that. But we don't think that way literally and call it a diet when we go sit down to watch a box set of Poirot.
Oh, no. Does he mean an art diet, as in an art triad?
I'm assuming you're using the word diet the way the political sense in Japan. They have the diet in the parliament. Is that what you mean? No. I don't.
Oh
he just refuses to consume certain types of art, which means that he limits himself to a specific type of art, which would be a diet of art, which is not very open-minded.
Yeah, it's excluding a certain kind of media or genre of media, I assume, and saying I only consume shonen anime. Ooh.
That's so prejudiced and artophobic.
Yeah. Anyway,
to challenge oneself, and sometimes this challenge necessitates letting go of something that was once integral to us. Consider the Harry Potter controversy, or more specifically...
There is no... These movies are
Oh my God.
decades
Oh,
old.
Jesus Christ.
A controversy only means the left isn't getting its way. That's all it means.
Does anyone know what he's talking about? What is this?
Oh, Harry Potter, yeah. J.K. Rowling is a radical feminist who thinks women are women.
Oh.
So that means she doesn't like trans people in women's bathrooms. So now she's Hitler.
That's the controversy? Just the creator said some
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
She's not socialist enough. That's it.
Okay, I gotcha.
I love my trans brothers and sisters, but please don't call me a cunt haver.
Yeah, but you know what the best thing is for years and years, these pretentious left-wing cunts lord it over people going like, well, I'm a superior person because I read Harry Potter, and J.K. Rowling just didn't agree one time with them, and they lost their collective minds.
Mm-hmm.
And now they hate J.K. Rowling so much, and it's just hilarious.
Yep. I mean, look at Alan Moore. He's said some stupid, crazy things over the years, but his books are fantastic, so I don't care.
They've been boycotting Harry Potter for how long is it now? It's been nearly a decade.
Yeah, I never...
They've been boycotting it for that long, and it's never been more successful.
Yeah, I know. You boycott a book, they pop up on the charts. It's funny that way.
The best thing about it is they call J.K. Rowling like a right-wing Nazi now, yet she believes in everything else other than trans people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she made numerous characters gay just to pander to
To
the
appease
left.
them.
Yeah, she did everything for him, and she just went, yeah, I don't think a bloke in a beard should be able to piss next to a 4-year-old. And they're like, whoa, Nazi Hitler! It's like, oh, okay. Great.
Yeah, that's a pretty stupid controversy. But anyway, let's just keep going.
Rowling controversy. It's a multi-dimensional problem because
No.
at once J.K. Rowling is a vile human being, deserving neither.
All right, this
Why?
is
Why?
how did we get from it's a controversy to J.K. Rowling's a vile human being? What are you talking about?
She's vile because she wants exclude trans women from public life. Yeah, that's not what she she did. But anyway, she literally helped fund a campaign so that in Britain a woman is a biological woman. So it meant all trans women were just men now.
Which is biologically true.
Can we
Yes.
can we assume this person's not on X and is on
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky?
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Because-
bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
100%.
the thing that the left refuses to acknowledge is that if trans women, or real dysphorics, not the fetishes, but they are all about the fetishists, but if actual dysphorics were biologically the other sex, they wouldn't be dysphorics, and they wouldn't have an issue, and there wouldn't be a problem. Nobody would have a problem then. That's the whole issue. To say that trans women are women is saying that they don't have a problem. That the problem doesn't exist. So it's complete nonsense.
Yeah,
It misses the point entirely. The problem doesn't go away by calling you another word.
yeah. At this point, whenever someone declares themselves trans, I want to say, okay, who was the doctor that diagnosed you? Can I talk
Exactly.
to them? Can I talk to them? Can I take 10 minutes of their time? If they say, oh, that's confidential, it's like, no, it's not. You just told me you're trans. You're making it public.
Yeah.
Let's just find out if that's
Now,
true.
my first question is, which family member touched you inappropriately at a Christmas party?
That's a relevant question. Or in kindergarten. That happens more often than you think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but no, this whole J.K. Rowling thing is just like, oh yeah, you're a radical leftist if you think J.K. Rowling's right wing. You are literally the furthest left you can be. So I now know I don't have to listen to this person's opinion anymore because he's just a radical leftist. He's just insane.
Well, anyone who uses the word cis and trans, like anytime you hear that, just stop listening. This person is not worth my time.
So technically,
talked about the
trans is fine to use,
conspiracy
but
of
the
independent
moment they
systems.
use cis, you know it's something's completely wrong because nobody uses that word except for in a negative context.
And I highly doubt these people even know what that means in the way where it came from, which is the prefixes in certain chemistry class, where you have to understand the shape of a molecule and what that molecule does when it is a trans molecule, and reactive sites and all kinds of other jazz that you learn about studying chemistry. So I hate their use of using scientific terms that my brain goes, I know what that means. Why are they using it improperly? And then you're like, oh my God, it's a slur now? A cis man is bad?
It's been a slur since the moment they made it up to use.
It's insulting, really, to people who actually understand science. Okay,
not just to them.
4 seconds after 7 minutes. Oh, Jesus, there we go.
Or happiness, a human with a worse use case than lead paint, but
Oh, my.
also
Whoa.
it's Harry Potter.
It just doesn't end.
Insults.
The moment you fall off the grace of the left, you are the most vile thing that has ever existed. You are worse than Hitler.
So when he was referring to philosophers, I assumed he learned about, Wisp mentioned sophists, and there's certain rules you keep even as a sophist, and you don't call people names. That's called an ad hominem. It doesn't work very well. It makes you petty. It means you don't have an argument. And you're angry at these people for some reason. You have some emotional reaction to whatever they did, and you don't know how to articulate yourself, so you use emotion. That doesn't win arguments.
Yeah, but look what he's done now with it. He's gone through the 3 steps.
Yeah, you're right.
He's done the steps.
Yeah,
he's done the steps that I've said all the time. He's gone straight to insults for this.
Yep, step 3.
It's always one of those 3 steps.
And I'm not against calling people names when you've described their behavior as the term you're using. So if I say someone is lying or ignorant, I have had to have proven that before, that they have knowledge of the truth and they choose to lie, or they don't have any knowledge whatsoever, that makes them ignorant, or if they don't understand something, that means they're stupid. So there's stages of using words properly that may be an insult or may just be simple observations that sound like they're unaware of knowledge or lying about knowledge. So
the best thing is this woman does not agree with a bloke's mental illness and does not think a bloke in a dress is equal to, well, becomes a woman. This person goes, well, you thinking that makes you a vile human that deserves death. There's a big leap here. Mm-hmm. This is not just, you disagree with someone's belief. You literally want to kill this person because they won't support a mental illness. So,
and they lie about the mental illness of how it works, so they can cram in another demographic that supports them and does what they want. Because in the end, that's what the left really is about. It is about something that it doesn't tell you that it is really about. It is an obfuscation, and it is a manipulation. That's the deepest core of the left. Lying.
The left is just about destruction.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So trans people end up being a way to destroy things because it breaks down society. Because you're just having people with a mental illness needing to be lied to 24/7, 24/7. Otherwise, they end up either killing themselves or going on a massive violent rampage. You can't have a society that's run like that. It's just a walking, ticking time bombs constantly. But anyway, we've had these discussions loads of times. This person's clearly a radical leftist, and for a video that's saying not art isn't all political, he's just been incredibly political about everything. So,
he's told us how he dehumanizes somebody for not agreeing with him.
Yeah. So someone's put, is he trans? Well, considering he's got an anime pick and he's got really angry about J.K. Rowling, it probably is.
Well,
so who knows?
I've got an AI version of Casey Hudson as Solid Snake, so it's not too far.
I have a picture of me with an arrow in my shoulder. Yeah, I just, that's how you normally do it.
Okay. Anyway.
No. I'm too tall to be shot in the knee.
Oh, jeez.
That's to symbolise you being penetrated by other men.
Okay. Anyway.
Yes.
Jesus. Let's keep going. Legacy for the $9.99. Thank you for the super chat, sir. It's worse when they define transgenderism through a different label or name with no change, like Yamato, a robot like Jenny, and a literal transformation like Takanuva. They've already lost. I'm not sure what those terms refer to. Are those shows? Are those characters? What are they?
Yamato is a character in One Piece. She's a woman whose father treated her like a boy.
Right,
and
I remember, yep.
The trans lobby clung on to her and started saying that she's trans, they don't care what the creators thinks. And
so child abuse. Excellent.
What they do, what the left does is they just use trans as an umbrella term, where they jam everything under that is in some way not the 100% ultimate, extreme, perfect cis version that a person could be. So if you happen to like the wrong color, you're trans. If you happen to have the wrong hobby or interest, like that is something that is traditionally of the other gender, then you are trans. That's why tomboys are trans now, why femboys are trans now, and they all need to go on hormone therapy.
It's like when they try to make, what was it, Joan of Arc as a trans man, and you're like, why? Well, she wore armor.
No.
Really,
Yeah.
that's the limit of
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, and why it's according to them,
Drawn the
cross-dressing,
names.
which is transvestitism, which is a fetish, is trans to them. No, it's valid trans to if you just wear different clothes for whatever reason. Dysphoria is like the something on the side that's in the corner that we don't talk about it, because then people might notice that there's an actual biological component that we could measure, the neurology that we could check in order to have proper diagnoses, but that would destroy trans identity, where we can choose to be trans and thereby justify that, well, we can then just push it onto people and then they believe they're trans, and then they in quotation marks choose to be trans, and then we can make money off them getting lots of strange medical procedures, and well, they certainly won't have kids, which we don't want anyway, because allegedly the planet is overpopulated despite reproduction rates being down in the dumps. Oh, it's a wonderful,
I love
wonderful
these
rabbit hole.
discussions.
Anyway, we're at 7 minutes, a little bit. Let's go through. Let's try to 12 minutes at least. See how we can do.
Has become a battlefield because people cannot let it go. A generation that was cheered as children for actually
you
reading
can't let it
is
go.
now stunted as adults for not reading beyond Harry Potter, simply must play Hogwarts Legacy because that is the level we have culturally landed on. The artistic...
No.
Wait, what? What?
How,
The fuck is he talking
how do we get from a book and then we're done with the book and stop at the game? That doesn't... What does that even mean?
The game
so-
is the most recent media to have come out regarding Harry
Right,
Potter.
so especially in the UK, when Harry Potter came out, a whole generation, just their entire world became Harry Potter.
I
Like, it
understand
became
that.
like the saddest fucking bunch of people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. Okay.
To be fair,
Because it's
Rowling-
literally it's my generation, and you met these people; they were insufferable. Everything was Harry Potter.
To be fair, Rowling
someone
is
someone
credited
breaks into a
for
house.
getting
Oh, go on, sorry.
an entire generation interested in reading books. So,
So yeah, that's great. The only issue is they only read one book.
yeah.
As in, they only read one series, which was Harry Potter. So they literally, it's like when you saw Russia invade Ukraine, people were going like, oh god, this is like Voldemort versus Harry. And you're like, oh, shut the fuck up. Shut the actual fuck up.
Yeah.
Not everything is fucking Harry Potter. And people were saying like, oh, there were riots back in 2011 in the UK, and people were like, oh, this is just like when Harry's army. I was like, oh my god, shut up. This has nothing to do with Harry Potter. Read another book. Do something
Yeah.
else.
Well, to say that we have culturally landed on a video game, I don't think this is it. I think there's a lot more video games out there that are way more influential, like Grand Theft Auto, that we
Look,
have
if we-
culturally landed on.
Smart. If we instead had culturally landed on Dustborn instead and Concord,
Jesus.
then you would be cheering how awesome it is that all the generations are playing this game.
Okay. This is just a strange thing to say, unless he's referring specifically to those who are Harry Potter fans. They go through 15 years of nothing, and then the game comes out. Oh, this is what we've learned. Like, it's a weird.
It wasn't even 15 years of nothing. They had the Fantastic Beast movies.
Was
And
that?
That's
the
Harry
Cursed
Potter.
Child, which made some changes to Hermione.
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh, you mean the
they
thing
had,
without Johnny Depp?
yeah. They had those three movies.
There was a musical. I know that there was a stage play, etc. But
Yeah, the stage play was Cursed Child.
it's a strange thing. Can you imagine saying that about Superman or Marvel or anything like that? It's like, oh, we've culturally landed on this thing. It's like, what is that?
No, it didn't culture. Culture didn't land on it. It became part of a culture because they were so successful. No one woke up in Britain in 1996 and went, you know something, I'm going to read Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's like a fad, but he's describing it like this is the bare, like we have to stop here till the next cool thing comes. It's like, no, it's just a game that is popular, and the Harry Potter fans seem to like it, and that's maybe other fans who aren't Harry Potter like it too. Who knows? But it's not like we're fixed on it, and our brain just stops, and our entertainment just stops, and this is where we're stuck. That's silly.
share something. Mrs. Hawke is a huge Harry Potter fan. And obviously, if I had known beforehand, I would never have got with her. But
Hawke, she's a woman. Of course she's a Harry Potter fan.
Exactly. But at least she has other hobbies. And I'm trying to say that, obviously we've got the Hogwarts Legacy. It's an okay game. It's nothing great. It's okay.
Yeah.
My missus can play it, so it's definitely okay. And she can't play video games.
Yeah, it's such a silly thing. Like think of Final Fantasy. There's always a new one coming out every few years, right? Does everyone?
Sometimes they're even good.
Yeah, does everyone stop at 6 and go, "This is the best ever. We're never going to play another"? It's like, no, of course not. We always have There's always a better game, or there's always a new experience, even if there's the same stuff, the same archetypes, the same settings ish. So I just get like, we stopped playing at Red Dead 2. It's like, no, it's a great game, but we didn't stop there. We didn't land on it and go, yeah, we're done. Game's over.
I think the issue is this person thinks culture can be molded, when reality, culture is this free-flowing thing that can change at any moment.
Yeah, I know. It's silly. It's
like you look at the culture. You look at the culture of 1969, and then you look at the culture of 1970, and you're like, it's only a year between each other, but they look like two completely different, worlds.
Eras.
Music.
Yeah.
Clothing.
Music, fashion, everything, but it's only like a year apart. But the culture changed. Just look at everyone in 2001, and then look at everyone now. Like, only been 24 years, but you'd think you'd gone back 50 years in time.
Yeah, the invention of the smartphone changed many people's
everything.
lives in the world over. Yeah.
I lived in a time when YouTube wasn't like easy to access. You had to properly go and look through everything.
Yeah.
Where people also put videos on different websites. Where there was where Google wasn't the main thing you used to search for stuff.
Yeah, I remember those.
That's the world that I lived in. And the culture was different, but then the culture changed. But it wasn't molded by people. It naturally grew into something else. So, yeah, that is a level we have culturally landed on. No, it's not where we've landed on. It's where the culture has molded itself to. And I think that's an issue the left has, is they think they can mold culture to what they want.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's just a strange thing.
The end of history.
To declare that. Like, I would never declare, Mass Effect 2 was the end of BioWare. It's like, no. They have other popular hits that people liked, so I could argue creatively maybe that worked in a marketing area, in a writing area. Like, there's all kinds of things I could say about these games, but you're not, unless there's some guy going, oh, this is, Star Wars Battlefront is all you need. Okay. Something silly like that. I don't know.
Oh, we've reached the end of culture. No more now.
Yeah, we've peak culture. Mario Brothers 3 is like, all right, there you
go. Peak culture is Mario Brothers 3, flared trousers, and
bell bottoms. Yeah,
looking tank tops. And you're like, please, can we keep going?
No, we're good. We're done. All right.
Cultivated is one where it's normal for adults to dedicate themselves primarily to children and young adult media.
What?
Is that his own gaming footage?
I don't know.
Wait, he can't. It can't be. He hates the game.
Let's try this one.
Because only evil people play this because it just hurt to look at.
The artistic culture we have cultivated is one.
The artistic culture we have. I don't even know how we did that, but okay.
One where it's normal for adults to dedicate themselves primarily to children and young adult media.
Isn't that what he's doing?
I don't know what who are these adults that do that? What are you talking about?
That's him.
Himself.
He's doing that. Jack Saint is doing that.
The left attach themselves to kids' stuff because they're perpetually children.
Yeah.
And also
they are
obsessed with Adventure Time, with Rick and Morty,
primarily
with what's the film that ruined a generation?
Oh, I don't know.
Scott something.
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim
versus the World. Is that ruined a generation?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Every woman turned into Ramona Flowers.
Yeah. Well, didn't turn into her, but it was basically an upholding of the borderline personality disorder thing as the preferred girlfriend type, which is a really horrible idea.
Remember when 7 ex-boyfriends was seen as a lot of ex-boyfriends? Wow.
Oh man.
What a different world.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was considered excessive.
Anyway, okay, whatever this guy, it's just strange sentences. He's every paragraph, he's got a weird sentence. We got to pause and go, what does that even mean?
Being political is a subtle, backdoor justification for a stunted culture.
Oh my god, just use your Y button, for fuck's sake. It's telling me when to dodge. I can't watch this.
He's dodging, but he's only dodging into the area of effect. Not out.
I hope this is someone else's stuff.
Political, then a Hogwarts Legacy is as rich as Spec Ops: The Line.
You could just put that. You could just put that little scene on screen, and YouTube doesn't have a problem with it.
I don't. This guy is rationalizing that Hogwarts Legacy and Spec Ops: The Line are equal politically, whatever that means.
Where in Hogwarts Legacy are you forced to murder innocent people and then shown the corpses of the innocent people and told that you're a bad person for doing what the game basically forces you to do?
Where in Harry Potter does it turn out that it's actually your own broken psyche and your desire to be a hero that drags you through and kills off your friends and pretty much kills an entire city? I don't understand this. Why bring up Spec Ops? And such a small scene of Spec Ops.
It's his favorite.
It's also literally the last scene in the game.
Yeah, it's like the last scene of the game. This is like Spec Ops.
It's literally the last input It's literally the last player input in the game.
Well, either that or they're like the white phosphorus scene so much. Oh, this is like the white phosphorus in Hogwarts Legacy, though. It's like, what? What do you know? There's no.
God, could you imagine if you could do white phosphorus in Harry Potter? Oh man.
Phosphorus or white-o.
Whitus phosphorusus.
I'm sorry, Dumbledore. Who won the House Cup? Oh, Harry Potter, you should stop putting white phosphorus into the Slytherin bedchambers.
Oh yes, do it.
10
yes.
points to Gryffindor.
10,000, more like it.
Oh god.
Oh, Harry, stop telling the trans students.
And of course, Harry Potter has a MPD or some kind of disassociation disorder. So he's like talking to himself.
I mean, Smud, he's got a part of Voldemort in him, so you never know.
No. Oh god.
Stop telling them. Sectum Sempra. They changed their gender.
Watch Harry Potter written by
Chuck.
A grave.
Yeah,
Harry Potter written by Chuck Palahniuk.
This is a grave and serious issue. 14 trans students killed themselves. 1,500 points to Gryffindor.
Oh, God. Okay, we're at 8 minutes. We're getting there.
It's as nuanced as Apocalypse Now. The Harry Potter novels as complex as Heart of Darkness. Making one new content fighting with right-wingers about Disney Star Wars is simply easier than, say, championing independent cinema. And through the lens of all artists,
$2 million.
There's little value in championing a film like The Miseducation of Cameron Post, when Star Wars is both easier to understand as a film for children and of equal artistic merit, as it found itself at the center of so much reactionary nonsense. This palatability.
The nonsense was the movie itself, and the defense of the nonsense is even more nonsense.
Again, more posits that, I'm right, everyone else is wrong, no definition, it just is. Okay.
It's all nonsense. Anyway, have you seen this avant-garde movie again?
So Star Wars is...
Well, the thing is...
The hero's journey was family drama in space during a war.
Look, Hawk, the thing is with The Last Jedi especially, that is avant-garde nonsense. That's why he likes it. That's why the left likes it. Because it is just random, pretentious bullshit.
No, the left like it because they could be contrarian to it. Also, 90% of the left
part
never
of
even
it.
watch the fucking movie. They watch YouTube clips of certain scenes, hence why they use the exact same scenes to.
No, Hawk, they loved it. They
defend it.
watched it. They watched it because they loved seeing Mr. Ryder here.
All right.
No,
They gush over him.
No. Then they found out
Adam
he was-
Driver.
Yeah, but then they found out he was in the military, and now they don't like him anymore.
Yeah, but
No.
that was afterwards.
Worse.
But still,
They found out-
making avant-garde is in part all about being contrarian.
It's worse than finding out that he was in the military. They found out that he's married, and so they sent death threats to his wife.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, he was their VTuber girl.
All right.
Idol.
all right. Anyway.
Of such artistic junk food makes it so easy to indulge. But the consequence of placing so much emphasis on highly accessible children's media is that it stunts our ability to not only understand and critique mature art, but for leftists, it also oversimplifies our political ideology. The application.
I wish if you could watch a Star Wars movie and I could talk to a leftist and understand what the hell they're talking about. I wish that were the case.
A real Star Wars
To
movie.
simplify their babble into like, yeah, I believe X. Thank you. Oh my God, let's watch more Star
Right.
Wars, please.
Shall I simplify leftist political ideology into something that's really, really simple? The left are looking for any justification to start a fucking revolution. Every single thing they do is just looking for that justification. Their whole thing is based on the destruction of the current world order, because they believe there's a utopia just around the corner, and if we just get rid of this world, then they themselves will lead us into the next. And that's it. That's it. That's the whole ideology.
One of the main meme lines from TLJ was, "Let the past die, kill it if you have to."
Yeah.
Which means, for one, exactly that, and secondly, it means forget all my past mistakes and horrors I did to you, all my abuse. Just forget it. Give me another chance, and so I can try again and do it again to you.
But it's so simple. If you read Marx, if you listen to the speeches of the communist leaders in the early 1920s, everything they do is all about the revolution. This is why stuff in LA kicked off. Not because they cared about the immigrants being removed, because they went, this could justify violence. And if violence gets so much, we could have our revolution. It's why they got so attached to the trans stuff, and that's why they put out the, there's a trans genocide, because what they wanted to do was stir up the idea that, trans people being killed, so we've got to arm ourselves and lead a revolution. Every single thing is about subversion, destruction, and eventual justification of violence.
And
which
all,
is why
all through emotional extortion and emotional association. Because, genocide is bad because that was a World War II thing, right? So people will if we say it as a genocide, they will side with us so that they'll fight against the genocide with us, whether there is actually one or not. But we will not talk about a genocide when we actually commit one. Because that's not happening. Unless it has concluded and then it was good that it happened.
But here's one of the big issues, though, and this is what the left's starting to realise. People are starting to see what the left actually wants, and everyone's going, actually, no, this is going to be really, really bad. So now the left are panicking and trying to gaslight everyone into forgetting the way that they acted with everything.
Yeah.
Like, let's put it this way. J.K. Rowling is a complete leftist. She didn't agree with one singular thing. They now want her dead. What are they going to do to people who are opposed to their ideology?
Well, we know what happens in Germany. We get SWAT teams sent by politicians, and the worst thing that then happens is that the court says, well, that wasn't exactly nice. But nobody's going to jail for that.
I know Smud's probably sat there going, God, I just can't drink enough to get through this.
I haven't even started. You remind me. I still have a bottle of Bailey's here that wants to be empty.
This guy
My point is, at the end of the day, they just try. The whole thing is they love subversion because subversion leads to the destruction of stuff. Destruction of stuff leads to an excuse for violence, and they think violence eventually leads to revolution, and revolution will lead to them being the Stalin of the new world in charge of everything. Apart from the fact that every other leftist thinks the exact same thing, and what usually happens is they end up in a ditch. And that's it. That's leftism. That's it. That's all there is. Anyway, let's.
Well, they love subversion. They love subversion because it's covert. Because they love doing covert things. Because it is how the weak can gain power and gain control. It's also why they play the Davo game all the time. And he is also now projecting, which is also part of the Davo game, the reversing the victim and the aggressor, the abuser.
Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender.
Exactly, and all the emotionally immature people do that. All the schizos do that.
Well,
because they can't admit being actually the bad guy, and this is why he now, the left at large, has caught on to the wider public, catching on to the issue of narcissism and how it operates. And therefore, now they are calling their victims the narcissists and emotionally immature because they themselves, the leftists, are that. They are the emotionally stunted ones. And that's why they now use this language. It's a proactive poisoning the well and trying to keep everybody down who's not them.
Well,
they always accuse everybody of being what they are.
This guy is more or less the film major hoity-toity name caller, so there's not much to get excited over. It just what did he just say? I can't quite, and it's you have to follow him, whereas the previous guy we were listening to was just a child, and you're like, I can't, like his words, I can't even hear the word what he's speaking. I don't know what he's saying. This is just a bunch of words that don't apply to reason or logic very well. So,
and nobody but an ignorant, naive leftist is actually still listening.
Well, you could go to the comment section and see what the hell they're saying, but I bet it has nothing to do with what he said, or they have their own little story. And it's like, what? You guys, how could you pay attention to any of this and not be confused? But anyway.
Wait, sorry, I had to leave the room. Wisp, can you repeat what you just said?
What?
Har. Okay. 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Okay.
I bet
Like Marxist theory or social theory to pop culture and children's media is easy to parody because of the mismatch in complexity.
Easy to parody?
It promotes a surprising...
And we're back on Disco Elysium. Of course we are. Why not? We love this game. Everyone loves this game. It's Disco Elysium, guys. Everyone should play it.
How do you... I'm sorry, since I'm not a native. How do you use parody as a verb?
Parody, it's parody or parity?
I think he said parity. Easy to parody.
Parody.
No. He said parody.
He said parody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Are you
is,
sure? That would make sense. I'm fine with that, but I misheard it.
Yeah, no. It's like the sketch comedy show was a funny parody of the latest superhero movie or something like that, right?
Yeah.
SNL is a parody of good comedy.
There you go. Well, I don't know if you can do a parody of a parody. If it's just normal comedy, sure, but you can't really do a parody of a parody. It doesn't really work. Anyway.
I'm saying that SNL is not funny though.
The message was clear. Okay, let's keep going.
Simply of left-wing politics that shaves off the complexities of actual material realities.
Such
Part
as?
of this is because leftists in the West have been subjected to the same culture of consumption as conservatives, and art is framed just as much as a thing to consume as a Pepsi.
I don't. What are you talking about?
I think I get what he's talking about. However, it's always been the left that's making that stuff.
We're slowly getting towards the left should be looking at media as a way to push politics. So pretty much making political propaganda. That's where we're heading. But anyway,
not consuming corporate drivel, if it's art and entertainment, gets elevated as a form of activism, even by the.
Are you serious, sir? Do you seriously think me buying a ticket at Cineplex is a form of activism?
Oh yeah, to them it is, because if you buy something, you support it, and if you don't buy something, boycotting it, then well, you are against it and damaging it
Well, when people
by depriving it of potential profit, which is exactly why they do cancel campaigns and why they say, oh, it's not made for you, and then when it fails because nobody bought it because it wasn't made for anybody, they say it's your fault that it failed, you bigots.
Well, when people, mostly black people who went to go see Black Panther, I don't think they saw that as a form of activism. They just wanted to see their black person be represented on screen.
Oh, some did.
Well, they did. Yeah, they did. They saw it as a form of activism. Yeah.
It's
So
There's no way a bunch of black people went, let's stop Whitey seeing this movie first, and it wasn't to do with political activism.
So supporting or not supporting something can be done as activism, but it is not inherently activism.
Well, here's the thing. I said earlier, we're going to get down to the point of left-wingers should be using this media as a way to push our political ideology. Mm-hmm. That's what it's heading towards.
Okay, but I do recall people buying or at least sharing Hogwarts Legacy keys with others just because the whatever pundits on X at the time or Twitter at the time saying don't ever do it. And if you know of anyone buying it, don't defriend them or whatever. And people are like, oh, time to buy Hogwarts Legacy just because these people dislike something. I'm going to do it.
They bullied a Fox Girl VTuber and doxed her family.
Oh, really? Just for liking a game?
Also,
because they didn't want the game to do well.
Yeah.
So, of course, people out of spite are going to make the game do well.
Which is ironic when you compare it to like stuff these days, like Veilguard, which is just a bad game and no one bought it. So,
you know what I also find funny about all of this, about this corporate drivel? All the corporations believe 100% in this person's political ideology. Like they 100%, believe in like trans rights, LGBTQ, equality, mass immigration, all this shit. All the corporations believe it. The Democrats believe it. All this sort of shit.
Look, except for their release versions in Saudi Arabia or Qatar or China, because those will be changed. None of the stuff will be in there.
It depends.
Yeah, but hold on. But the thing is, they are so desperate to be seen as some sort of like revolutionaries that they can't accept that they control like the mainstream culture, quotation marks.
Yeah, because then they would lose their own legitimacy of doing any of this.
Well, there are companies ever since Trump took office that have rolled back their DEI policy. So all the little silly things they put on Twitter or is it this month?
Yes and no. Yes and no, Smart. Yes and no. They've rolled those back, but what they really did is they just rebranded them. They just renamed them to other things. One of them is Bridge. Another one is it's the more famous one. Another one is to just write it out as some inclusion help thingy part of the company. It's just obfuscation. It's all still there.
I can say certain game companies still have it. I agree, but the big ones like Amazon and
especially those keep them.
Oh, like
they just renamed them. The same people are still working there.
Oh, I see.
It's the propagandists. Okay. They don't throw out the propagandists.
I got you. Okay, fair enough.
He called out the social justice Pepsi commercial for being ridiculous. The right wing might currently produce very little of actual cultural value, but the left has let them set the conversation, and an art culture that squabbles over a lesbian kiss in the background of Star Wars or Lightyear is not a healthy artistic culture.
Why not?
This is
okay, so
so this is children's material, and those things somehow also, this is what I talked about, somehow do not exist in the Muslim country version of those things, as well as China. Why? And those are things that the left protects. They protect Islam. They protect communist China. They never critique them.
Yeah,
but it's okay when it's cut out for them.
There's a big difference between talking about Star Wars or other shows for kids and comparing that to the DS9 episode of, I think it was the first lesbian kiss, or at least a major primetime show in the 90s, I think. So, there, when you criticize that or you analyze Star Wars that much because it's so bad, and the prequel or the sequels were so bad, that's normal. You're going to criticize everything because you have to okay, what's that over there? Is that a nod to something? Oh, that's just a bunch of women kissing. What the hell is that for? There's no reason to have that. So
that's not. If it's irrelevant, why put it in? If it's irrelevant, why is it a problem to take it out? If everything is political, it's certainly not irrelevant. Because it's political. Because it is part of everything.
Yeah, whereas...
So what is it? What is it?
Whereas,
is it irrelevant or not?
Whereas a story a show like Star Trek goes into political messaging and stories and aliens and fantastical elements, you expect that. So it's oh, who cares? We saw the first interracial kiss 50 years ago. Who cares? Go for it. So it's totally natural in certain contexts. But in kids shows with stuff that it doesn't belong, it's this is weird. This story is garbage. And then all of a sudden you have this extra crap in there, and you're okay, what's up with this Asian?
Kids already find it iffy. Sneezing. Kids already find it icky when any kissing is happening, except for girls at a certain age. But other than that, all boys and girls find it icky. And so why even put then the even stranger version of it in there?
Well, this is the obtuse obliviousness that I talk about, because the issues with Star Wars is more than just a lesbian kiss, and the issues with Lightyear were more than just whatever was the issues with Lightyear you just mentioned. This is just he's picking something that's not the actual issue. He's just making this obtuse. And
at the same time blowing it out of proportion as that being the key thing that is the reason everybody complains about, instead of addressing any of the actual complaints.
In the last 2 years, do you know how many times I've been told about that lesbian kiss in Star Wars?
Only ever when the left brought it up.
In this video, I've not heard anyone actually talk about it.
It's mentioned as this is a sign of the ideology being present, but that's basically all.
I remember it being pointed out as being this first same-sex kiss in Star Wars, and then radio silence until today.
When did the last Star Wars movie come out? It was 2000 and...
2005?
When did
Christ.
Episode 9, 2019.
2019. So that's 6 years ago. So when I just said in the last 2 years...
It feels like it.
Don't forget how long ago that movie came out.
Episode 9 was so weird and so just what the hell was that about? I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to analyze it. It was just after 8, you went, oh God.
And that's the reason I still have that. Yeah, and that's one of the 2 reasons I still haven't seen it. For one, TLJ was just so bad. Number 2 was epilepsy-inducing trailer. Thank you.
But my thing is, when people say, what do you think of Rise of Skywalker? I've got no opinions of it. I never watched it because TLJ was so bad. I just went, Star Wars is dead. I have no interest.
It really has been 20 years since the last Star Wars movie was made.
Wow.
You guys watched The Last Jedi?
Anyway.
Oh man, I
went to the cinema. I spent money to watch The Last Jedi.
Yes.
I checked out as soon as I heard Abrams was in charge of Episode 9. So
good for you. Good for you. Good for you.
All right.
Good for you. And I'll remind everybody again that 2 weeks after TLJ, I said Disney Star Wars will be decanonized within 10 years. The countdown is still running.
All right.
And I think they are planning on decanonizing it too.
The type of art, viewership, and criticism that centers the slop-line productions of major corporations and is fought out on Steve Bannon's terms, and the fight itself does very little.
I don't think Steve Bannon is determining media for kids.
Oh, this is again. It's just the obtuseness of this argument. He is picking the most random things to make his point. Like, oh no, Michael Knowles is talking about. It's like no one takes Michael Knowles seriously with his film analysis. It's a Daily Wire. This is not the. This is not the argument that people were making. People were not making this huge argument about the lesbian kiss, actually. It was numerous other things, like, you know, Palpatine returning, the story just being utterly terrible.
The ships not knowing where up is.
Horses
Yeah,
on
even-
that was...
Even TLG fans were angry because it pretty much just spat on TLJ. You know, no one liked it because, like, both sides just were screwed over completely. So the argument wasn't this, but he's being obtuse and saying, "Well,
Yes.
it was just about this lesbian kiss." Yeah.
Yes, and what we sometimes get from leftist activists is that if the non-leftists would at least critique the things that are actually worth of critique and discuss those like problems in the writing and such things, and which is the main things that we always talk about, that everybody talks about all the time. But they ignore that we're actually doing that, because all they hear is, oh, you complain about the female character that was very badly written, so you must hate women. That's all they reduce it to. That's all they hear. They don't actually hear the actual critique.
Yeah, it's because of being obtuse. But anyway, it's the same. I've already explained the three parts of the usual leftist argument numerous times. Let's keep going with this video.
All right.
Rights of queer people. The benefit of talking about
What?
mainstream media, Marvel
I don't know. What are the rights of queer people? Does anyone have a list that they're not getting the same rights as everyone else?
There's a wonderful Family Guy joke from years and years ago with Quagmire's dad, where it's a bartender is talking.
Hawk. Well, there was a
I think
Oh,
his
they-
connection dropped. He'll be back in a second.
Oh no, they got him.
The bartender was about. All right, let's keep going.
movies, Disney movies, Pokemon, Star Wars, is that the potential audience is much greater. Children's media, curated by parents and driven by a forceful invisible hand, is seen by viewers before they have a chance to diverge from the commercial status quo.
What does that even mean? What are you talking? What is this invisible hand? Are you talking about streaming services? Are you talking about the executives? What are you talking about?
Talking about the deep state.
The market?
Yeah.
The invisible hand of the market.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking of economic terms. Beats me.
A Jean Hound is just as likely to have seen The Lion King as a Golden Age science fiction enthusiast. From a messaging standpoint, from a, dare I say it, propaganda standpoint, the dissemination of political thought is much easier when your base is greater. You will...
Why? How? What are you talking? Isn't dissemination easier if it's smaller because you only have fewer people to argue?
I'm not sure what he's talking about right now.
with a sense of irony, have greater success polemicizing over a Marvel...
The more people you brainwash, the less dissent there'll be. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, but
the bigger your base of power is, I suppose.
yeah, but that means it's easier to have a smaller base. Anyway.
Well, no, it's easier to use to gain more power if your base is big.
You're gonna get people pissed off if they try to propagandize everyone. People will catch on a lot faster if there's more people.
Yeah, but it always it will eventually get there.
If you catch them at a young age, then there'll be more.
Yeah, but then you're saying what type of people, not how many. I don't know what he's getting at.
That's what
Are we
it's all about.
are we trying to brainwash kids watching superhero films? Like, what are you talking about? What is going on?
No. Unless we do it, unless we have succeeded, then it was good to do. But if we're not succeeding at it, then we are not doing it. That's a conspiracy theory.
Everyone who watches the latest Marvel films know they suck. So I don't think anyone cares that there could be some messaging in there because no one's watching them. I think that's hopefully what he's getting at.
Also, why is he showing this clip from Iron Man 2?
I don't know.
Elon Musk's in it, and Elon Musk is an evil right winger.
Film, an Ingmar Bergman film. This
so
is
what was
true
that,
across all.
So what was that you were saying about that Family Guy episode with Bartender?
Yeah, something about Quagmire's mother.
You got cut off.
Father.
He's gone.
Same thing.
Again.
Without a sense of irony, have greater success polemicizing over a Marvel film than over an Ingmar Bergman film. This is true across all fronts of the culture war. Right-wing rage-bait YouTubers, defined by their simple-mindedness, their debatable literacy, and junk historical knowledge, are all...
I would wish for you, sir, to have a debate with these right-wing, whatever you just called, on history, literacy, and, I guess, intelligence.
It's always hilarious when left-wingers accuse others of historical illiteracy.
Or just having bad opinions. I'm like, great, let's talk about my bad opinions. Go for it. Why do you think they're bad? We've had people on here, very few, but there's like one or two guys we brought on that we disagree with, but they could talk. They could actually have a conversation, and we go, yeah, I see where you're coming from, and some points were clarified, but ultimately we had a good time and we got along. It was very rare, but it happened. So... this is not that kind of guy. This guy is already deep in whatever he's in. And we're like, dude, what are you even talking about? That you
It's like Xander Hall.
Well, no. Xander Hall is one of those... He says things for the sake of it, because he's not very intelligent, unfortunately. And he is of this certain mindset that he has to attack, or he has to say this or that, because that's the status quo. This guy is either so inside this world that there's no way of even bothering to talk to him about anything reasonable or logical, because he won't be able to clarify his thoughts. It's this cauldron of words that, I must be right. Let me pull out one of these words to explain it. Feminism, 1967. Let me bring that up. It's like, why is that brought up in relation to media debatable topics? I don't know.
It's just simple insults. Like I said, it's boiled down to he's gone from the obtuse arguments. He's going through it's always been woke and all this sort of stuff, and he's gone straight to insult, because obviously we're all idiots because we don't agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
The same guy who so far has provided no evidence of anything that he's actually arguing.
Like, if you look at the release of TLJ, like that spawned a lot of YouTubers saying pretty much the same thing regardless of their stripe. They didn't really care. They thought the movie sucked for all these reasons. And you could argue some of those YouTubers went into that realm, but everyone knew it was garbage. And the fans who liked it had to defend themselves because they had nothing to stand on. Oh, it's subjective. It's my taste. It's my liking. I like it.
Yeah, and then years later they switched sides because they knew they were full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
The funniest thing about it was the mere fact that you didn't like a Star Wars movie was enough to make you right wing. And in the years that have come back, you've started to see that actually no. Like a lot of these people who are supposedly right-wing are actually not right-wing at all. They just didn't like a Star Wars movie.
Right, and you could argue this stuff like Purple Hair Lady, or I guess the lesbians kissing is left-leaning, but fans of Star Wars go, this just doesn't feel right. This doesn't fit. But then the left will say, well, there were demons and devils in the cantina in Episode 4, and you're like, yeah, they're alien.
What?
They're just creatures that are unexplainable. They're not actual military people in a survival state wearing dresses in battle. It's like, what is going on?
The funny thing is we've reached a point where 90s liberalism is far right.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's true.
And so what you're having is a lot of people like Mauler isn't far right. He's he lives in the most left-wing part of the UK.
Of course not. Yeah, and he defended actual communist subversion.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you look at loads of them, and it's like these people are clearly not far right. What they are incredibly they're wrong in one way of being the 1990s liberals who think everyone is just a grey blob and we can all just get together, get along together, like what the 90s was telling everyone. The issue is the left nowadays are so far further left that looks right wing. So it's really just one left winger versus another left winger arguing, and they're going, well, you're right wing, well, you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. Yes, you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. And you're like, you stood there going, you're both idiots. Shut up.
And then happy slaps.
All right, we're at 11 minutes almost. Go for another minute. Call it a day. Got better things to do than listen to this gentleman because we've heard this stuff long time ago.
But the final 2 minutes of madness.
Yeah, that's
Star Wars
tomorrow.
that, and spend almost no time talking about the art house, the indie scene, or anything outside the sliver of major releases with huge marketing.
I'm sorry, we're not into film.
We talked about cuties. We don't want it.
We're not into independent films. I'm sorry, sir. You can talk about that. Go enjoy your independent movies. That's great.
Yeah, but these independent movies are the same fucking trash all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And recognizable brand IP. Why was Assassin's Creed Shadows controversial for featuring a black protagonist? It wasn't because of the historical accuracy that they pretended to not know.
Yes, it was.
They did not know it.
Yeah,
they literally did not know it.
They claimed it was historically accurate.
They used a guy's book who then came out and said, yeah, my book's made up of lies.
We had a senator who was angry that this was not depicting Japanese history accurately and having a giant black man mow down a bunch of Japanese farmers. And
Ubisoft lost Japan forever because of this.
They made
Django
Unchained set in Japan, except Django is revered by the Japanese because he kills a bunch of Japanese
Also, they made the black character go in a romance with an incredibly famous Japanese, I say princess, but obviously there's a different word to it, that is one of the most revered members of their royalty.
Not to mention that this game was also the most anticipated game in the entire series, right off the heels of Assassin's Creed 2, by the way.
So he's being obtuse and he's just lying as well with the whole. This guy is such a basic fucking wet wipe leftist. It's unbelievable.
All of Japan literally told Ubisoft to fuck off over this game.
Mm-hmm.
It was because of the name, Assassin's Creed. What? That name makes it a useful tool for the propaganda of reactionary losers.
What?
To the contrary, it is. Here we have the projection again. It is the left that constantly attaches itself to popular brands.
This says.
In order to inject its propaganda as a vehicle for the propaganda, because as we have seen, anytime they try to do it without that, they crash completely and thoroughly. Well, that's why they attach themselves to known brands and inject their crap into it so that they have a chance that the propaganda is seen by somebody.
This has nothing to do with Ubisoft or their game Assassin's Creed or their series. If CD Projekt Red made their own style of third-person action-adventure real-time assassins in Japan and did the same thing, it would be the same reaction. It has nothing to do with the name or the series.
This is such
they
projection.
Yeah, and these idiots lit Shadow on Ghost of Tsushima, claiming that it did the shit that Shadows actually did.
I just got
because he's reading a post from, I guess this is their Twitter or whatever, saying that, oh no, we did all this research and we had consultants and experts. It's like, I don't care. You screwed up. Your
experts were wrong.
Yeah,
because all your experts were ideologues that just tout your own the stuff you want to hear.
They followed that one guy who wrote the only book, which was speculation on what exactly happened then.
who now left the
Not even
country.
speculation. It wasn't even speculation. It was straight up fabrication.
Yeah,
He literally came out and said, "Oh yeah, I actually I created numerous accounts to give my book good reviews." Wow, that sounds legitimate. Oh yeah, I could only find I think he could only find 14 lines of evidence that what's his name, Yakuza existed. So he had to make up extra stuff.
Yeah, and the black protagonist argument is completely bogus because there's Assassin's Creed Freedom's Cry and Assassin's Creed Liberation. Both of them have black protagonists, and people like those.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Jesus Christ.
One of the big things that a real slap in the face for fans of the series is there's database entries for some of the previous games. They mention the protagonists of Origins, Odyssey, and the Viking one, but they completely miss out Altair Ibn Lahad and Ezio Auditore de Firenze, despite the fact that Shadows happens after they happen.
Shadows happens after Ezio, I think right after Ezio dies.
But isn't that based off genetic memories, so that the ancestors are living this?
Yeah, I don't know how the hell that's being dealt with in Shadows. I don't fucking.
So after what's his face? The modern guy in the first
Desmond.
Yes. Yeah. After Desmond Miles died,
after 3,
it was kind of a free fall where the best explanation I've got is they found DNA on ancient artifacts and put that into some machine and let people live the memories of someone they don't necessarily have to be related.
It's better just to realise that the entire overarching plot is just nothing. You just go back in time.
Yeah.
Even before Patrice Désolé left Ubisoft during Brotherhood's development, it's like the series was always meant to end with 3, and they got lucky with 4. And after that, it's just been a mixed bag.
All right. Okay.
I fucking hate Ubisoft.
The temptation from me and from a lot of people is to own the right, to name and shame them through a meticulous breakdown.
What is that? What is he pointing at?
What are you pointing towards?
Her belt?
His crotch.
His? That's a guy?
That's wait.
Tool for the propaganda of reactionary losers. The temptation.
That's a guy.
That's a man.
Okay.
Oh. Well, that's a very squarish woman then.
From me and from a lot
Also,
of people
rags.
is to own the right, to name and shame them through a meticulous breakdown of all the silly shit and incorrect nonsense they say about art, culture, and entertainment. This video had its origin as a response to the critical drinker.
I mean, she has got pockets on her jeans, so
Oh my god.
That makes her a woman?
No. Women don't have pockets on their clothes, so...
Any number of his clips
ornamental.
breaking down how he masks his own ignorance on cinema by overwhelming the viewer with clips from movies that are old and act as a shorthand for whatever claim he is making about modern movies sucking.
Oh, you mean just like what you do in your video?
Yeah.
Although I have more than half the time, I have no absolute clue what the stuff you have on screen has to do with what you're saying.
Or those clips that I don't even know where they're from, the people he mentioned, I'm assuming he learned in film school, and the quote from the beginning, I still don't know where that's from. There's lots of them just like sitting here, where is he coming from? Like, I want to know if he just like left quotes or I bid / wherever this reference comes from. Great. Ralph Waldo Emerson something or other. Yeah, great. Okay, I'll go search that up later. I don't care. Just tell me where it's from so I can go figure it out. Because right now I'm just like, what did you say? Why is this French dude important? It's this. I have this esoteric knowledge. I know more than you. It's like, okay, can you explain it to me? Is it that hard?
Well, I can't spend all my time explaining to you, you simpleton. It's like, oh, okay. Are you sure you know stuff then?
Usually the sign of the intelligent man is to dumb down his intelligence so the layman can understand you. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, because if you can't explain it to a 4-year-old, you probably can't explain it to yourself. And this guy is using so many adverbs and adjectives and compound sentences. I'm just like, dude, can you just clarify what you're trying to tell us?
The
Thing
thing is,
sign
he's
of the
using
pretentious pseudo-intellectual.
he's using all these words, and when you look at him in the context of the sentence he's using them in, they don't make sense. He's just saying them because they're very long words.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, you've used these big words. What do they mean? And he's like, well, they mean flicks through thesaurus. They mean this.
Oh, we're at the halfway point.
Yeah, we're almost done. Okay.
I chose not to do that video because watching the critical drinker gives me the color.
Because you would have been fucking ratioed.
It would do nothing but serve as a way for me to say, I watched Heat and Collateral and Shaft and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly better than he did.
Okay, this is this is a Willems argument. You're watching movies wrong. I'm the man who knows how to watch movies.
They're not modern movies.
You see, I watched the avant-garde French cinema from 1972 to 1984. And I've got a more superior knowledge of movies than you do. Oh, shut the fuck up, man. Shut the actual fuck up.
My two counterpoints to what he just said is, one, the movies he mentioned are not modern movies, and two, the title is Why Modern Movies Suck, They Hate Men. Those movies do not hate men. They show men going through a shitty time, but they don't hate on the men that are going through the shitty time.
I'm glad he made this video about how stuff isn't how art isn't political, then spent his entire video being incredibly political and an arsehole.
I did point out early on, the not is in brackets. He's mocking the people who say that art doesn't have to be political.
Mm-hmm. All right, well,
I know,
we can stop right there. I like the thing.
Yeah.
That's a good place.
Do the memes.
Yeah.
To the meme
Do
cave.
something better.
Alrighty.
Let's have a little.
What do we got here? All art is political. MFs when I draw the tree in my backyard. Yeah.
What that means, motherfuckers.
Sorry?
The MFs, that means motherfuckers.
Yeah, I
Yes.
get that.
What? Yeah.
It's okay.
I try not to swear, but this, it happens.
Oh my god, that's.
So disliking modern art is right wing? Always has been.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who the other guy is.
All right.
No idea.
What you also need to know is that modern art was propped up through tax money by the CIA.
Politics.
It was never liked. It was made to be liked by artsy-fart, pretentious pricks through the CIA. It's admitted. The files are open.
All right.
It's great.
Politics addicted snobs on Twitter when faced against the overwhelming power of simplistic enjoyment. See, that's, again, a lot of words, but I understood them. Oh, God.
This one's tiny.
I got it.
Says,
I'm so glad adult
I'm so-
animation. Yeah, sorry. No, but you go ahead.
I'm so glad adult animation went from depression is serious business, chud, to funny element and purple chuddy have silly adventures.
Smiling Friends is such a good show.
Oh, God. I bring a sort of leftist vibe to the meme. Oh, my God.
To the meme that blah 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 blah.
Can you read it?
No, but
When you're 20 pages into chapter 2 of a leftist meme and ask op when the punchline comes.
It's not autism what they do, it's just babble. The narcissist wants to babble in order to seem smart, the author just wants to share something cool.
Does this guy have pronouns on his blue sky? Well, it's blue sky, so you have to worry about it.
wow, look
yeah,
at
of
my
course it is.
profile. Pronouns. Now we can take you even less seriously.
Well, I'm assuming blue sky just because this dude is
I wouldn't have
deep.
I would never have known he is male if he hadn't put pronouns there.
Well, yeah.
The voice couldn't tell at all.
This
It was so androgynous.
Diamond.
This is Diamond Dogs. Basically, we clowning this motherfucking better take your sensitive ass back to you. Yeah.
That's yeah, that's very colorful. What is going on?
SMGS5.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can see in bottom right, he's got the easy mode chicken suit on.
The chicken hat.
Because the guy sucks at the game.
Oh, is that what happens when you put it on easy mode? You get a suit?
Yeah, you put on the chicken hat to put it in easy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're undetectable with a chicken hat because you suck at stealth.
That's
Exactly.
awesome. I love that. All art is political. I hate escapism and feel the need to shove my politics into everything.
Yeah.
iCarly fanbase. What you got there?
What you got?
Child abuse, foot fetishism, and abuse of child actor trauma. Dan Schneider, a kids show. Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went down.
Wow.
The actor there is actually well known for standing up for the kid actors, isn't he?
Yes.
Like he got in the way of Dan Schneider being really creepy.
With a few of them, but he's at least one of the people that's like actively said that. Yeah, I got in the middle of this shit.
So is Hassan someone's name, or is it just an acronym? What is it?
He's basically Walsh of Twitch.
Yeah.
What?
You know who Sam Piker? Are you sure you don't know who Sam Piker is?
The name.
He is he is the nephew of Cenk Uygur,
Oh.
and he's a Twitch millionaire, champagne socialist
American
who
deserved
supports
9/11.
yes, and who supports openly supports Hamas and had actual terrorists of the Houthis on his show in his room.
And he actually went to the LA riots.
Yeah.
These people I disagree with who don't want their children to be tortured and raped. They should have their children be tortured and raped in front of them and be killed. In a video game. In a video game because I'm a dirty fucking coward. That's a typical Hassan Piker response to.
Well, this thing here, this Hassan system, is
And if you paste about the Hassan system and the Davo thing, make sure you're not actually doing all of that yourself.
What the hell? iCarly, someone has a. What is. This has got.
Somebody lost a bet.
This has got to. Yeah, so it's either a bet or Photoshop. I don't know what's going on here.
it's probably going to be Photoshop. I don't think a small child has Bin Laden tattooed on his arm, nor is iCarly smoking.
Was that real?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. What is going on with the color? Never.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. I'm for real.
It's because it's karaoke.
Oh.
Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times.
Michelle Obama cameo.
I don't think it was the same episode. Image, but...
No, but next picture is the Michelle Obama cameo, yeah, with the fat black man.
Nice freaking Josh, motherfucker.
Smud finger. This is what exactly?
Your finger. It says it in the title.
I read that. I just don't know what it means.
Well,
just a JoJo thing.
Is it JoJo? Yeah, I know, but I just don't. What
you have 8 of them, Smud.
Thank you. I can count 2.
Listen, I don't know. You're Canadian. You could have any number of fingers.
Super.
All right, next.
Superhero in a white hood and cape. Sarcasm. Well, there's definitely not any fascist subtext here. I'm Jewish.
Jewish.
Oh dear.
What?
Anyway,
Whisp.
Remember,
Do not read any of these memes.
This is great. I remembering you at Hanukkah and hoping you will find that your holiday leaves many special memories behind. Happy Hanukkah.
Smud, you know who that is, right?
I know that is. I just trying to read the actual handwriting.
The golem.
No, it's the thing.
No,
I'm trying to read I'm trying to read what the writing says underneath it.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, yes, Ben Grimm is Jewish.
Yeah, of course. So his name is Ben, and he's a golem. It's obvious.
Does that actually say the thing?
Maybe, yeah.
Oy vey.
What is this?
Why are you calling to another god?
Oy vey.
Is a term just like white girl? What?
You know,
N-word. The N-word.
Yeah.
Abort
Anagram
all
of
the
ginger.
Jews. Oh my god.
This is Sweet Baby.
Oh, that is the Sweet Baby logo. I forgot about those weirdos. Oh my god. What a creepy
Yes,
logo.
The cycle of it is happening, and it's good. It's not happening. It's a right-wing conspiracy theory. It might be happening. It is happening, and it's good, and the cycle repeats.
Nice.
If all art is political, where's the politics in this image?
Yeah, so we've seen this before. Yeah, exactly. This again. We covered that video before. We had the same stupid meme, and it's like what?
Yeah, the one from last week, right?
Yeah.
Which by the way, he is still in here.
Whatever. Doesn't bother me.
Hell yeah. Egyptian zombie robots versus alien dinosaurs.
Pew pew chomp chomp.
Pew pew chomp
chomp. This is clearly a critique of modern social classes. Hey, why are you leaving?
Every fucking time.
Leftists are inherently anti-fascist. Here we go. Duped yeah, that was great. That was a few years back.
Yeah, duped academic journal publishes rewrite of Mein Kampf as feminist manifesto.
They were supportive of the work and noted its potential to generate important dialogue for social workers and feminist scholars. Yep.
Sure.
Amazing.
Lindsay needs a big vacation off the grid to ground himself again.
Oh, I love these
because he's reading too quickly into the stuff. If you do that, it fries your brain.
Here's our daily dose of Draw 25 meme. Admit that not every piece of media caters to your politics or Draw 25. My media literacy crowd. I love Draw 25 memes. They're great.
There is not the best poster of Macross Plus. I've seen
Macross.
Everyone should watch Macross Plus. It's one of the classics of the early or late 80s or early 90s. I can't remember exact date. It's fantastic. Okay.
Beavis and Butthead. Anyway.
Okay. Xeon and Earth Federation, who look like this, are dying right now instead of doing gay porn. It's sad. What?
Because the whole trans movement, they've been converting the gays into transing.
The trans fetishists are doing that. Yes.
This Alan Moore.
Yeah.
All right.
So Alan Moore did not like Rorschach, and he painted him as an anti-hero, but everyone loved him because he was.
I was gonna ask, isn't Rorschach the fan favorite though?
Yeah, because he's the
guy. This meme also leaves out that Rorschach hunts pedophiles.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say is,
why
do people love him? Well, because he hunts child abusers.
He's a literal hero, and he doesn't care. He seeks the truth.
Mm-hmm. That is what the truest of heroes does.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is this?
Oh no.
All right, I'm not going to read that. You guys can
read it on your own time. All we're going to say is the title, Harry Potter, but it's written by people on 4chan.
I like the second one because I understand exactly why she did it.
All good looking girls are taken. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. You take it.
All good-looking girls are taken. The only ones left are undesirable scraps. Make them Indian. Rowling?
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Indian women are pretty hot, so...
It depends. As with every...
Of course you say that you're Canadian. You're filled with them now.
This is true.
As with every tribe. They have pretty ones and they have lots of pretty ones.
Surrounded by Indians. Well, I might as well start liking them.
I hate this franchise, but I hate people on Twitter more. That based.
Cute. What is... Sorry. Whoa.
Note, the top left part is something Piker actually said.
Okay, here we go. And you know those pogroms?
Those programs against Jews in Amsterdam.
Pogrom, not program. Pogroms.
Okay.
Not pilgrims.
against Jews in Amsterdam are kind of funny. That's what a Nazi would say. No, I'm a socialist, and I also find Jewish people dying to be funny.
That's what a Nazi would say.
That's what a Nazi is.
That's not what that is.
I'm crossword today.
It's starting to come out that socialists actually despise Jews and while a lot of socialists are seemingly Jews, it should dawn on people that there's a difference between socialist Jews and non-socialist Jews. One of them are Semites, the other are not Semites. But they call themselves Semites. It's just like with the nonces calling themselves gays when they're actually not gay, but into kids.
If I may ask, which one of those does Kanye West fall under? Because it immediately came to mind, hit the fit he had on Tim Pool.
Yes.
What do you mean? Kanye West is not a Jew.
There's no way that they're going to turn Veilguard into a live action movie or a Netflix adaptation.
Don't you think they won't?
No, there's no way.
Hang on, no, we skipped the greatest thing in history, the Harry Potter meme. We're not reading that out.
I am not reading that. You read that.
No.
No.
You just racialized matter on the first floor, girls' lavatory? Jesus Christ, Harry. Half of the Hufflepuff were due to do their gender confirmation in that bathroom that night. They're all swinging from the Whomping Willows, Harry. The ministry's so far up my ass, they check my gallbladder for cysts. 50 points, that's the most I can award Gryffindor, he said calmly.
Oh yeah, that whole thing. Oh yeah, that I remember that change from the book to the movie.
Put your name in the Goblet of Fire, he said calmly.
Yeah, it's like
And
I remember. What was it when he was at? Well, if I can, what wasn't it when he was asking Harry if he put his name in the Goblet of Fire?
Yeah, that's literally the line I just said.
All right.
in the book.
I'm being harassed by white supremacists that have my message of inclusiveness. Hate. The next one is probably by the colors of the shirt, some trans person in Sweet Baby Ink. With really strange flags there.
On God, fuck white people.
And then we have, oh yes, I wrote that line. Stop distracting people from the real bigots. We're the good guys. What anti-Semitic employee are you talking about?
Yeah. Mealis, yeah, okay.
I don't get this next meme.
Certificate of Media Literacy?
Gordon
yes.
Freeman.
No, I was saying the before and after. I don't understand.
Yeah, I was like, why am...
I don't know who's that before.
Have you ever used that avatar?
That's one of my
No.
I think because the pose is similar.
Anyway.
Yeah, but that's my avatar from 2023.
Yeah, but that's Ingerman. That's not Hawk.
I missed this.
Yeah.
I got to read that. Here's from Anton Zero again, or Axton Zero. Drinker denies that God of War Ragnarok is woke despite Sweet Baby Inc. He isn't against wokeness, but the condescension of it. His "What is woke" vid reveals his ignorance. Oh, really?
We already
it's true. It's true.
We already dug into the video where he was talking about Ragnarok on AFAB. That was ages ago, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's sadly true.
All
Baller and Drinker don't really get it.
All right. Well, that was half the video. We may as well keep going tomorrow. This is easy to go through. It's just stupid.
Yeah, part 2.
It is stupid because we have to pause every sentence and go, what exactly? Because it's not like it's incomprehensible, but once we understand it, we're like, what does this mean? Like, what is it?
It kind of is. It's like...
Yeah.
Kinga?
As at this point, we've already narrowed down how people are wrong and how these people are wrong on every single damn point that they say.
Yeah,
well, it's also the babble that you get when you read Foucault or Marx. It's just pages upon pages of pompous blabber that says nothing.
There is that,
and in between that, you have a line or two that actually make the point, but you lose it in all of the hay.
Well, there is the babble, but then there's the attacks for there's no reason to attack random YouTubers just because you disagree with them. Just get to your point.
That is their reason. That is their reason. They're wrong. They're against the reality-changing spell of socialism that summons utopia.
So
thus they must be fought tooth and nail.
So they say a bunch of random babble about I don't know, a movie, and then they go, this guy's wrong. He's an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what? That's the point? That's silly. That's like just childhood nonsense. Oh, God.
Someone's slowly starting to learn here.
I'm going to make a video about hate, but I'm going to use a lot of big words and big sentences for no reason. Like, what?
It's how cults works, Mod.
The issue is their entire ideology is built on destruction. So there's no foundational beliefs. Everything's just about destroying everything around it. So when people criticize your ideology, you can't defend it because the only thing you want to do is destroy everything.
Yeah.
So you can't defend it.
The left ideology is the left ideology: socialism, communism, whatever it calls itself, internationalism.
Globalism.
The current one is globalism. Yes. The woke is a variant of it, or a strategy of it that's currently on vogue. And the whole thing that is actual nihilism if you look into it, because it is about the removal, the Aufhebung, the annihilation of distinction. And distinction is what makes the world. If you remove that, you undo creation itself, whether you think of that metaphorically or religiously. It is how you get back to the primordial chaos, which is what the left wants. They believe that then they can remake the world or rejoin God in some weird fashion. That's why they want to destroy everything. That's how utopia comes to be. If you look into what the actual thought leaders, deep down in the ideology, believe and write, the useful idiots at the front that we have to deal with, like this guy, they don't understand a sliver of that. They don't know about that. But the dystopian writers of the last century, they did know. They too probably didn't know how to really put that in. Personally, I believe Lem did it the clearest. Orwell did it a little bit. Dostoevsky had it to some degree. And throughout the centuries before, there were hints of it. But I don't think people have ever directly named their ideology to be the actual nihilistic one. And then calling people the writings of Marc Aurel as anti-nihilistic, when he was actually very nihilistic because he was plagued by his life. He wanted to escape. He wasn't a vicious nihilist. He was just lost and depressed from a life of abuse by his spouse. And on the other hand, people like Nietzsche, who wrote against nihilism, they then call a nihilist. So they call everybody their opposite. Because then we can't find the actual answers and the actual descriptions. That's the trick. And they do the same here. Everything is projection. Everybody's accused of what the left does. And thus we can't find a way out of this perpetual maze that they keep building, that they try to keep us trapped in. And the way to get us out of that is to just name things as they are. And to correct language. All the newspeak must be undone. The definitions need to be corrected. And then they have no grounds to stand on. That ends the spell.
All right. Well, if we do have time tomorrow, I don't know, depending on the weather and how much joy you want in your life and what you'd rather be doing aside from listening to us, we may or may not have a video tomorrow to cover the same one, the other last half of this video. Why not? It's not, I'm fine. I'm not going into a drunken rage despite not having any alcohol, so that's good. I'm chilled. No.
We are not nihilists, we're just masochists.
Yeah, essentially. So we will talk to you guys later, and hopefully tomorrow. If not, we'll catch you after the weekend because it's Father's Day. Everyone should go out and have a good time with their dads or celebrate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's my one day of getting something. Hooray.
There you go. All right, breakfast in bed. Look out, buddy. Okay.
But it's not breakfast in bed. I've got work.
Whatever happens on the weekends. All right. Have yourself a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Don't cut yourself.
I'm not even joking. I've got work.
Okay.
I don't have free time, Smud.